A very good evening, everybody. Nice to have your company wherever you're tuning in all around the world on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube. Welcome to SimShed Broadcasting and the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We are live from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the virtual Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course tonight for our Friday night triple header to launch week one of Friday Night Motorsport for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Zach Caban and Nico Pop with you. Welcome to those of you that are joining us for the first time, of course, through our new broadcast agreement with SimShed Broadcasting. And welcome to those of you that are back as regulars for the new season through the Gentleman Sim Racing Club Incorporated broadcast page, which if you haven't already done so, you can like on Facebook to follow all of the broadcast action. We've been continent hopping this week. We started in Europe on Monday night. We headed to Asia for a brilliant doubleheader in the wee small hours on Thursday morning. And then, of course, we head over to North America for the final leg of week one, and it is a triple header. Normally Friday nights have been a double header. We're working a little bit of overtime this time around. And the reason for that, Nick, is because the Supercars are joining the Friday night bill.
Yeah, we're going to finish with the Australia's most popular category in terms of main games kind of stuff. So should be good. A lot of people are liking it, and it's sponsored by Stone Cold. So bring it on.
Indeed, great to have Stone Cold on board as a sponsor. Great to have all the great people on board with the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Of course, Simple Sim Computers, SimShed Broadcasting, Oculair, Flash Graphics, Racecraft, LJ Hooker, Gaindale, Central Coast Subaru, and Stone Cold Racing as well. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the venue tonight. IndyCar rock and roll around here just on a fortnight ago now. And this time round, it is production cars ahead of stock cars, and then, of course, supercars. Let's talk about the stock cars firstly, Nick, because that's your baby on a Friday night. Already a few cars in the server getting prepped for the race. Cal Watmore has been calling for Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. He would no doubt be starting tonight as favourite.
Yeah, he's starting favourite, and we'll see how many cars he can lap. I hope he doesn't lap too many cars. Thank you for the random safety car.
100%. Production cars, a little bit shorter for a Friday night now for these guys. What was a 45-minute race becomes the 30-minute race, so all the more important to qualify well.
Yeah, well, it puts a premium on getting your act together. This track, I personally want to pick it for round one because the undulations really do throw people off, but no better car to learn in than the MX-5. I'm personally driving one round at the moment, but also these cars, they're really sensitive to your inputs, and if you're fast in these, you're generally going to be faster in the next step up. So as we go through the night, the cars get faster.
Indeed they do, and that's a good sign because Friday night is always has that sort of need for speed feel about it. We've got it in spades tonight for you here. We'll also have live updates from Formula One with the Russian Grand Prix practice underway. In fact, practice one just concluding as we go to air here. And of course, the NRL final round before the finals get underway next week. That's the only bad thing about working Friday nights is we're working all the way through the finals now, but that's okay. The Gold Coast leading Newcastle 22-6 to cement their place as Queensland's best team, if you can believe that, on a day where Brisbane fans and supporters are wearing black armbands and tossing wooden spoons over onto the training grounds of the Brisbane Broncos.
Gender reveal after a game.
Yes, exactly. Oh, don't get me started on that rubbish, fair dinkum. But what about this? Thankfully, in the virtual world, there won't be any wooden spoons in the way, but there will be other obstacles for these guys to navigate their way through tonight, often in the form of other drivers. Let's reflect, because you weren't with us on Wednesday night, Nick, some sensational racing to get us underway for the GT3 Porsches, but also, of course, for our good friends at Racecraft, but also in TCR and GT4, the Hump Day Pilot Series. Congratulations to yourself and Paul Nichols, who isn't with us tonight, but that's okay because I'm making up for it by not being here next Friday night. You guys were on the podium and very nicely done. A great fight back from yourself after spinning on lap one. And again, your masterclass of fuel saving was the difference in the end.
Yeah, oh look, it was going to be close on fuel. My spin didn't help.
No.
And then I had to try something different to get vault myself back up the field. So fuel save it was. So once I got to the front of the TCR cars, I figured there'll be about 10 to 12 laps to go, so I started fuel saving. As long as I got good lap times, I started fuel saving a little bit, and then as I got closer to Jared Daly and Kester Ward, I started fuel saving even more. Even though I wanted to push to catch right up to them, I made myself fuel save even more. Ben Snell came out of the pits. I'm like, well, we're not going to get first.
No.
Then it was just myself and Kester, and I was keeping an eye behind because Paul Nichols had come out the pits and he had an 18-second gap, and it was down to 2 seconds. Excuse my language, but thank God the white flag came out, and it was either going to be a lap short or half a lap short or half a lap good, and I was 1.5 laps good, so I was pushed really hard. And to his credit, Kester Ward in his return, he was blocking me everywhere he could, which is good. Last lap. And I finally got the run out of Spoon Curve and got going, and he slowed Nico up just enough that I could get away. And nabbed second, and yeah, I was very pleased with that. Mikey Hammond should have been there, but he had an accident earlier in the race.
He certainly did. If we get a chance, we'll come back and talk about that as the evening goes on, mate. Great to have you back in the booth on a Friday night. Of course, you'll be stepping out to focus on stock cars, and I'll be flying solo there, but then you'll be back with me for the bulk of the supercar racing. We're looking forward to that. Don't forget, folks, usual post-race shenanigans coming up after the supercar race, except driver of the day votes will have to be lodged remotely via SMS because I'm flying solo throughout the course of the post-race show. Well, that's exactly right. JP's here on standby. But JP's doing a great job looking after all the on-screen stuff for you there. You can see the graphics. They're looking schmick. There's no doubt about that. Of course, JP looking after our Monday nights and Friday nights. Adam Lavis doing a nice job on his Maverick Twitch channel on a Wednesday night, and looking forward to getting stuck into that from the Okayama circuit next Wednesday night. We'll have a full look ahead as far as week 2 is concerned at the end of this broadcast. Let's focus on Mid-Ohio, though, because we've gone back to the 15th of May. Old habits die hard, don't they? However, have a look at this for race time. This is what Queensland misses out on, ladies and gentlemen. This is what daylight saving looks like in Mid-Ohio. It's the 15th of May, and it's 10 to 8 in the evening. How good's this? 27 degrees on track, 26 in the sky, and partly cloudy, 17-kilometre winds to the south, of course. And this is a shortened format for the production cars in Season 3. 20-minute practice, 10-minute qual. We've already got through the 10-minute qual, and a 30-minute race. Pace car speed will be 88 kilometres an hour, pit lane speed 72. And the incident count, 15x, and then every 5x after that. Fast repair limit of just the 1, given it is a 30-minute race. The Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course is 3.62 kilometres long, 13 turns, and looking forward to seeing what might unfold here with the Mazda MX-5s. Let's have a look at the results from qualifying for you now.
They're just gridding up.
As the field grids up on the main straight here, so we'll run through this very quickly. Brenton Hobson and Michael Hammond, front row. Jaden Russell, Todd Park, second row. Daniel Ackland and also Jonathan Turner, third row. Grant Gill, Simon Francis, fourth row. Simon Ferris and Jared Daly, fifth row. Then Josh Millard and Dylan Gray. Then Josh Thomas and Chris Budd. Troy Cox, Daniel Aish, Chris Kisby and Ben Collard did not record a time there, I think, is what I'm seeing, but I might be wrong.
Good luck with the Ferris Francis business.
Exactly right. So looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. Michael Hammond, Brenton Hobson, no burning from the stern for these guys. So let's see what they can do, turning it on from the front of the field. Ready to go. Race 1 of the new season for the production cars. Friday Night Motorsport on SimShed Broadcasting. The revs rise. Mazda MX-5s from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. The first leg of a triple header. If you had to pick one, Hammond or Hobson, who is it?
Hobson.
Okay. Good call.
Pressure.
Very much so. But this is the thing. So many times Michael Hammond's been in a winning position in these races and either thrown it away or got done on penalty points or something. So I can understand why, spur of the moment, when the question's thrown at you like that, you go for Hobson. There's no doubt about that. The stats don't lie. Yes. And if it is that close, let's hope it's an entertaining race because that'll sure as hell test out the decibel levels here in the broadcast booth. Looking forward to it immensely. So stock cars coming up after this, then supercars. Stock cars will be a 32-lap race. Supercars 45 minutes. Getting set for start. Green and Racing off the line nicely. Hammond jumped beautifully. What a start.
What a rocket!
Up the outside to lead them to turn 1. Beautiful jump. Got the jump on Hobson. Russell and Parks tucking behind, then Ackland and Turner. It's a clean run. Up towards turn 2 for the first time, which is of course, that's right, the keyhole corner, but it's also the last corner that brings the IndyCar field to the green flag. They normally start here on the back straight, IndyCar, but for the production cars, we're able to start on the proper main straight. Across the back straight they go. And already you can see the disadvantage that the rest of the field is at through the new regulations of the club, encouraging everyone not to burn from the stern, because Hammond and Hobson have put it on pole and cleared out.
Yeah, they got a bit of a break. Look, someone off in the background there.
Oh, trouble. Three cars off, actually. 3 cars in trouble. Dylan Gray's one of them.
Yeah, 2 super cheap auto cars. It's unfortunate for them. Hopefully they can get back going again.
I'm sure we'll get a replay for you very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 1 at the Mid Sports Car Course. 30-minute race. I mentioned the replay. It's coming your way very shortly. There's Dylan Gray. And also Josh Millard. And there was one other car off behind them as well.
Oh, wheels missing and everything.
Yes. Well, they'll be very much... Jared Daly, it was the other one. So I'm already getting the message through. Jared Daly is manually disconnected. That's it. I'm out of there, he says. Stuff this. Let me focus on other things on a Friday night. And so often that happens for Jared, unfortunately. He gets in, he gets going, he comes unstuck. He says, that's it, I'm out.
I think he's having a go on the stock car, so he might be just going in there to just do some practice now. So,
how has the muster of the drive, what I'm trying to say here, the pledge to get people on board with stock cars? How have you gone with the membership drive, I should call it?
Well, there's going to be a couple of guys doing double duty from here. Okay. But there is a second tier series, so the one that we're calling is StockCar Championship Series, and there'll be StockCar Development Series, and they use a slightly less horsepower NASCAR. So that's shaping up to be pretty tight as well. So number drive, we're going to get around the 15, maybe the 20 mark. Okay. Some people like Jackson Rayhana, he's unloading a plane right now, so he'll be trying to get home in time for that. If not, he's just going to be doing V8s. That's right. And there'll be some names from in here that'll be jumping across, so it should be good.
Looking forward to bringing that to you immensely. It's straight after this race, of course, folks. It's a tight turnaround on a Friday night. We bring you MX-5s or production cars, depending upon the week. The cars of choice vary here, and then, of course, we bring you stock cars and then supercars. Friday Night Motorsports never looked as busy as this. It starts 7:30 Eastern.
Someone off of the carousel there.
So already a couple of cars in trouble. Here's a replay for you.
I love this track, up and down, left and right.
I was just about to ask you about your thoughts on the circuit.
As long as I have it, I don't particularly like flat tracks.
Daniel Ackland kissing the grass. And spearing off. Bye.
Oh, jeez.
Thanks for coming. And Daniel's resuming behind the car that he was trying to get by in the first place.
He might be doing triple duty tonight, I think.
Probably. Just having a look there, it was Todd Parks he was trying to get by, of course. Parksy sitting in third spot, 3.3 behind Michael Hammond and Brenton Hobson, who have cleared out. Just 0.3 of a second separates that pair at the moment. They're on your screen. I was going to ask you, I mean, this circuit throws up great IndyCar racing. Carl Watmore's a huge fan of it. He's been calling for it all season. He's finally, all year I should say, he's finally got it in the third season. From what you've said initially here, you're a fan of this track as well. It's a very pretty circuit.
Yes, very picturesque. Having seen lots of photos and watched a lot of IndyCar races, the infield, just where these guys are going off to their right, is a great place to watch. You can see them coming down the back stretch, going across the front straight, coming through the ups and downs. I think it's the only place where they disappear from that spot through Thunder Valley here. But man, what a fantastic track! It's great to drive. You actually, Mikey Hammond getting a bit wide there.
I tell you what, taily.
You have to set your car up taily for this track to make it turn, but as a result, it then makes it very hazardous to drive. So Hobson is not letting Mikey go here.
And this is exactly what we want. These two have been the benchmarking production cars on a Friday night for such a long time. Often they burn from the stern approach. They can't do that this time around without paying the price of starting from pit lane. They say, bugger it, we'll qualify. Oh, and Hobson giving Hammond the hurry up into turn 2. And already the clear air is paying off for them. They've cleared out 6.4 seconds over Daniel Ackland, Jaden Russell, Jonathan Turner, Josh Thomas, Simon Ferris, Grant Gill, then Simon Francis. Todd Parks has slipped all the way down to 12th in all of that. Dylan Gray's disconnected from the service, so already 2 retirements here early. Jared Daly and Dylan Gray. Josh Millard at the back of the field at the moment, but already Hammond and Hobson well clear. The 2 H's doing what they do best.
Notable mention to Josh Thomas. He's been on fire as of late. He's coming from 13th to 6th.
Very nice jump from Josh Thomas indeed.
Just quickly on the incident points, Millard's on 6, so that's the highest we got. So it looks pretty clean at the moment. Because everybody looks like they're going for bonus points to get those 0 incident races.
Well, this is right, and that will improve. Won't improve the quality of the crashes, I guess, but it will improve the quality of the racing if everyone's going for. Speaking of which, big spin now and a huge save. My goodness gracious me! I think it might have been. Was that the 315? Was that? It was Jonathan Turner.
Yeah.
Wow, the 54. My apologies.
And then they went forward.
Unfortunately, Nick, as you know, my trading paints isn't working tonight, so trying to coordinate colour to car and number and everything else, it's not proving to be very friendly at this point in time.
On the broadcast, a couple haven't loaded up either, but that's all right. That's what happens with trading paints. It gets overwhelmed with more cars.
Exactly.
Just got to keep refreshing until it catches up. But yeah, wow.
So Michael Heyman, Brenton Hobson, then Daniel Ackland, Jaden Russell, then Josh Thomas. They were the top 5. Oh, I tell you what, there was almost some trouble behind what you're seeing on your screen there with Grant Gill and Simon Francis, but they've avoided that.
Ferris and Francis, a line astern. This is going to be fun to call.
Yes, exactly right.
Simon in front of Simon.
So Michael Hammond, Brenton Hobson, then Daniel Ackland and Jaden Russell. We are with Daniel Ackland at the moment. We've moved away from that to Simon Ferris and Simon Francis. Grant Gill's in there as well. Jonathan Turner. It's a 5-way fight.
Yeah. These guys went 4 wide last time through Thunder Valley. See if they can do it again.
So, hey, nothing wrong with 4 wide action. I'd like to see him try 5 wide though. I tell you what, Grant Gill got to hurry up there, didn't he?
Held on to it.
And Ferris almost got backed up there too. Turned right around the outside, kicks in the grass and did well to hold on to it. Magnificent driving. I tell you what, these guys are really trying at it in the early stages.
I've said it before, I think it should all be, for production cars, it should all be MX-5s. That's just my opinion. But it does bring the people along too, so. True,
and so this is the thing, Nick. I love the MX-5s, but we saw one of the best races all season in the last series with the TCRs at Phillip Island.
Yeah.
That was just incredible. Now, speaking of incredible, Daniel Ackland up on the inside. Jaden Russell, job done.
Giving him curry. And
nicely done.
Thomas is catching him lap by lap.
Yep, he's just sitting in there trying to get the toe and waiting for these two to keep jockeying for position. As they keep taking time off each other, he'll gain, and all of a sudden a 2-car fight will become a 3-way battle. So through they go. This narrow, tight section of the circuit. Overtaking opportunities limited here, but if you can make it work, you'll reap the rewards as they come back around again.
It's like Suzuka, it's like a game of chess. You've got to set them up way back at the end of the back straight to get them into the carousel or something. So, you just got to keep your wits about you and set them up. Got to think like 20 corners ahead, a bit like a game of chess.
Yep. Further behind, there's been carnage with Grant Gill and co. We'll get a replay of that for you in just a moment, I am sure.
looks like.
Yeah, we might not be able to, but we'll see what we can do later on in the night. We might be able to show it to you later, folks. But the fact of the matter is that Grant Gill and co have come together back there.
Yeah, I was just about to say the radio's lit up the race controller to jump in and have a look.
Troy Cox has been the beneficiary in all of that because he's gone past Gill, Francis and Ferris, and Todd Parks as well. So
there we go, Hobson sporting a Stig. Oh no, it's refreshed now. I was going to say he's having a white overalls day, but no, he's got his race gear on. He's right behind Mikey now, coming down into turn 3. Having a look.
Up on the outside. Can he get the job done? Hammond's going to make it difficult for him, and so he should. He holds the spot for the moment, but he knows Hobson's there. Great racing. Terrific stuff.
I've been around for a long time in sim racing, and these two, and then throwing Postlethwaite and Callum Watmore, are probably the best guys I've seen in Australia in sim racing. They just, wow. It's balletic in a sense that they just have a look here, have a look there. They never trade paint. Very fair, very good drivers.
We were talking, Jackson and I, in the wee small hours yesterday about Michael Hammond's racecraft and just his intuition and his inkling and his just his general racecraft and his knowledge when it comes to sim racing. It's second to none. There was a particular incident, you may have seen it on Wednesday night, where he knew the actions of what the car in front was going to do and how to take evasive action, whereas 9 out of 10 of the other blokes probably would have gone the wrong way and ended up collecting the car. Mikey's gone in between the car and the wall and squeezed through in the middle. I mean, the guy's a freak.
And then he's got one of the fastest guys in Australia on his tail now too. So, yeah, he's got to try and predict where he's going to have a look and obviously try and be stronger in those positions, in those parts of the circuit.
Now, already pit stops underway. Ferris in the lane. Josh Millard in the pits as well, apparently. Yeah, there he is.
So they got 22.5 litres per tank. I'm just checking now. I actually don't know the fuel burn on these little things.
No, neither do
I. In saying that, I'm driving the previous model around at the moment and it doesn't burn any fuel at all. Because my car's needing repair. But yeah, I love this track and I love this car combo. It's actually great. I actually do miss being in there, but I've really got to concentrate on stock cars.
Correct.
But, yeah, you just this back part of the second where these guys are going is fantastic. Over hills, flat throttle, lifting off throttle, part brakes, full brakes. It's all about just tippy-toeing around and not upsetting the car so much.
Indeed. Huge thanks to the team that put the broadcast together for you, of course. They get in there, they niggle and wriggle around with the cameras to put them in as close to possible broadcast positions to make it look like real world stuff when it's really just computer generated technology doing its magic in the 21st century, and we are very much the beneficiaries of that in the times of COVID. Now, Nick, I don't want everyone to get too excited, but it was Bottas ahead of Ricciardo and Hamilton down in 19th at the end of the first practice session for the Russian Grand Prix. Again, practice one doesn't mean much, but Daniel Ricciardo on the pace early there in Sochi. Now, I'll have more on that a little bit later. Michael Hammond, Brenton Hobson and Jaden Russell, the top three here. You're watching, of course, Chris Budd, and he's in a fierce battle there with Troy Cox. Josh Thomas, I should say, a little bit further back, then Grant Gill.
Up 8 positions there, it says on the screen. That's pretty good.
Josh Millard, I believe, out of the race as well. So he's just ejected himself out of the server, I believe. I think that's what the blue. I think that's what the blue means on my timing screen.
Yeah, and then on.
Oh, trouble here! Troy Cox gets turned around by Chris Budd. We'll get a replay of that probably very shortly for you.
I love the paint scheme on that car. I'll tell you why in a second.
Down the inside, and Cox has come across, and Budd with the, it looked like a little bit of net code from where I was watching, but it could not be. Just gets into the rear.
Also, when you take a narrower line in, you're actually covering the ground quicker. So the guy coming from the wider arc, yes, it's a straighter line, but he's going to come in real sharp, real quick. So the guy following just needs to be a bit wary of that because it shortens the line through the corner, and he's going to come in and try and get a good run down the back stretch. So yeah, he redressed that on track though, so good on him. And as you can see, one of my favourite movies is all over this car, and he's got one of my favourite characters on his doors. Good old from the Goonies.
And that's the thing as well. We have to applaud the commitment and dedication of this lot, don't we? Because not is it only a case of getting in the sim, preparing the car, getting around. Oh, geez, Michael Hammond and Brenton Hobson coming to blows. Side by side, down on the run to turn, I think it's turn 4, is it, Nick?
Turn 4, turn 3, whatever. End of the back stretch.
The end of the back straight there. And Hammond holds on for the moment, but not without a fight from Hobson. And now Hobson looking around the outside, but Hammond has the line, holds the position for the moment. But again, Nick, it's not just the dedication of these guys to do what they do in the car, but it's also the time and effort they go to presenting the car as well for broadcasts such as this, as we ride on board with Brenton Hobson now.
I think we're going to get a good look at Mikey's paint scheme here. He's been with him for quite a while, back when he was a team that I used to be part of, Laser Racing. And yeah, there's a lot of time and effort gone into a lot of these skins, but for the most part, people just want a quick skin. They jump on what is a Apple Trading Paints and just select one from the millions upon millions on there. But it's always good to have your own. And plus, if you've got sponsors such as myself, it's always good to give them some airtime. Wow.
Exactly right. Look at how close it is now. Out of turn 1, the run down to turn 2. Hobson on the outside. You ride with the ocular aerial shots here for you. Around the outside goes Hobson. Have a look at this. Not often you'll watch Mazda RX-5 go 2 by 2 through the corner, but when it's two of the best in the business, you shouldn't be surprised. And Hobson's got the job done going down the back straight.
Yeah, getting that wider line gives him a slingshot down. He's going to defend to the inside, far out. That was a great
Hammond
move.
on the outside now. Can he get the job done, Hammond? Yes, he can! Oh, look at this!
Beautiful work.
2 outside manoeuvres on the trot, and Hobson's still going for it. But Hammond holds the line right now. Assault number 1 from Hobson inevitably fails, but not without a tremendous hell of a fight. That was good stuff. That's under the entree. We're only on lap 11 here. I'm not sure whereabouts we are time-wise, but given the average lap time around here is 1:40, that should give you an indication.
Tick over halfway.
We're edging towards the 20-minute mark. Yeah, you're right. So it's 20. It's just gone 8 o'clock here, so we won't be too far off finishing the podcast and launching straight into the stock cars. What time's the stock car race starting, Nick?
Hold on. 8:25.
Okay, so yeah, there's about 10 minutes left here, 15 maybe. And then we launch straight into the stock cars with the tail stages of qualifying. Then we get stuck into the race for you. And now look at Hobson on the outside again. If it didn't work the first time, try again, he says. But Hammond gets across and shuts the door. Down the back straight again.
It's like a game of chess.
Oh, it certainly is.
Another corner down there.
And this is the thing too, you got to be in the right place at the right time. Do you want to be leading at the start of the last lap? That's the question these two men will be asking themselves at the moment. Where is going to be the best position for you to attack and or defend on that last lap? And Hammond at the moment is in the right spot. He's got the box seat. Position number 1. But by G's working hard for it tonight. He might not ever... Holy smoke! This is ridiculous! Hobson was right on Hammond's clacker going through there. Literally could not separate him by a coat of varnish.
First one that blinks in the lead. Sorry, first one that blinks in the lead.
Exactly right. This is extraordinary stuff. 2 of the best in the business putting on a show for you on a Friday night for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club on SimShed Broadcasting. Oh, this is super stuff. This is what we get behind the microphone on a Friday night to watch. There's no doubt about that. And Hammond has answered the challenge, but here comes Hobson on the inside now. Well, the outside didn't work. Let's try the inside. Why not? Hobson to the lead. This time he makes it work.
10 minutes to go.
That was a very nice manoeuvre. Very good piece of driving. Down the back stretch to turn 2. The long start straight for the IndyCars is next. And Hobson leads this race
So
for the first time in a few laps.
You can see on the lap times there at the bottom left, there, these guys, because they're Dyson, they've dropped 2 seconds out of their lap times. They were doing 38s, 39s.
Yep.
So, and now some lap traffic's going to come into play here. So, watch the planning and plotting by Mikey now.
And Hammond looks to go down the inside of Hobson. He got it done again. Hobson left the door open for him. Oh my goodness gracious me. Hobson left the door open for him, and Hammond, he doesn't say no to an invitation. Have a look at that.
Admittedly, this is Mikey Hammond's favourite car. Having known it for a while, he loves this car.
And therefore, and we know he loves winning too, so he'll be very happy with the combo tonight if he can pull it off. But then again, if he's second to Brenton Hobson, that's nothing to shake your, turn your nose up at. That's a fair effort in the greatest respect to both these men.
Cam's fantastic as well.
Isn't it? Isn't it just? Look at this. Hammond and Hobson. Pick your line. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Who wins this, we don't know. That's the good thing about it. Round onto the main straight, across the start-finish line, another lap in the books. A 40.22 that time round for Hammond, a 40.38 for Hobson. 38.3 is the best for Hobson, 38.7 for Hammond. They're well off their pace, but as Nick said, when they're battling, you can't expect them to go 10 tenths in every sense of the word. They're going to sacrifice a little bit of outright speed here. Hobson holding the inside, and Hammond looking up on the outside that time to try and set up the up and under down the back straight. That won't work. Slipstream might work to his advantage, though.
And not only the front two fighting, the next 3 behind them are having a good ding-dong, and they're just all in little battles. We're going to try and show everybody, I guess, as best as we can, but far out, these guys are just providing us so much entertainment.
Just impossible to try.
There's the next 3 there on screen right there.
We kind of need side-by-side Channel 7
Yeah.
Mega Wall style, don't we? Have a look at this. So this is Russell, Ackland and Cox. Turner, my apologies. Turner's got
no, Cox might be in it as well, yes. He's just a tiny
Yeah. So it's a 3rd, 4th and 5th. Turner's fallen well behind, actually.
Yeah, he's dropped off, yeah.
He's dropped off, so that's my bad. Russell, Ackland, and then Cox, I do believe.
So Simon Ferris is the last car on the lead lap. Just looking down, he just let the leaders through, and they're going hammer and tongs as well, so don't know where to look.
Not even the slightest bit surprised by those two going hammer and tong.
Hammer and
They've been side by side, inside, outside, rubbing door panels, swapping coats of varnish. It's been fantastic. However, neither one of them has thrown the other one under the fence yet, which is a testament to their sportsmanship. There's no doubt about that. We know Robbins Racing. We know there's occasionally a little bit of niggle between this pair, but for the most part, they've kept this exceptionally clean and entertained us every step of the way.
Mike
Like
just 15. A bit wide there. Might lose the run down the back stretches. All Hobbo needs now is a mistake from Mikey, and he's going to get a gap. So Mikey really needs to be on him.
And how crucial is a gap in these cars? My goodness.
Yeah. 1 second's enough.
Exactly. It's like Formula V.
Yeah.
Or an XL. You just break that slipstream, break that toe, and away you go. How's this for a sunset in mid-Ohio? Fantastic stuff. Round they come again. We're not far away from the end of this one, folks. Strap yourself in because the racing steps up a notch on the other side with stock cars. Oh, I tell you what, look at the commitment from Hammond. Marshalling and hustling and bustling with that wheel. Fighting it every inch of the way. Oh, this is just an incredible onboard ride. Shades of Glenn Seaton on the mountain in 87. It's just the commitment. How Just have a look at how hard he's working that steering wheel, trying to go with Brenton Hobson. Back to the main straight, 5 minutes to go. So that's going to be 3 laps, maybe an extra, depending upon the outright pace here.
Brenton's finally got a
May
second
just
on
sneak
him.
a 4th in.
Brenton's finally got 1 second gap on him, but I don't think it'll last for long.
I don't think it'll be enough, no.
At 1 second, you still get the toe down the back stretch, so he might reel him in here.
Right, yeah, we wait to see. This has just been incredible. What a launch pad for season 3. If the racing's going to be like this every Friday night, come back and join us at 7:30 Eastern each and every week. Next week, 7:30 Eastern Standard. The week after, 7:30 Eastern Daylight. Don't get me started. I'm just putting the memo out there for everybody so that you don't miss out on the racing that's to come. It's going to be good fun. Lap 16. So by my count, it'll be 18 or 19 because by the time we get to the end of lap 18...
Jaden Russell off the road. See him in the background there.
Yes, there he is. Coming back onto the racetrack. Gathered it up. Lost a couple of spots, but kept it alive. We'll see a replay here in a moment. Here he comes. Too deep. So easy to do at the end of the back straight there.
Beautiful slow-mo. I believe positions 1, 3, 4, and 5 are all teammates. I know Daniel Ackland has a car paint job on board, but I think they're all teammates, so they're all part of that synergy race team. So they're synergistically driving really well together today.
Yes. Very nicely done. 2 laps to go, maybe 3. As I say, it's going to be touch and go. It's going to be a couple of seconds in it. So it's a bit too tight to call right here. At least it won't be like the other night where iRacing said we're on the last lap and we actually had 2 to go. We won't have that problem. We're waiting with the clock tonight, which is good. The benefit of it live. Yes,
I watched that this morning. I went, no, there's another lap, guys. And then you said, we'll stick with this, and then there you go.
And just as well, we did stick with it because it was a thriller for you and Nico in the end at the expense of Kester Ward. Kester Ward would have been happy if the checkered flag came out when it did. And anyway.
He texted me after that. He needed half a litre. That's all he needed.
Yeah, exactly right. The difference between the masterclass of fuel burning in yourself and those that are still getting there. There's no doubt about that. Rightio. Michael Hammond and Brenton Hobson. Hobson sideways! Oh my, throwing it away! Boy, oh boy, he did well to gather that up.
These guys are on the limit.
That gave Hammond a stiff. They're on the limit, all right. They're pushing it 11 tenths, maybe even 12 at the moment. This is extraordinary commitment from these two. 2 of the best entertainers in the club going hammer and tong here in mid-Ohio.
The Hammond's brought the gap down, and you can see he's playing it. The more sideways you get, the less momentum you have going forward, so the lap time's going to suffer. So Brenton's only got, and how long we got?
Look at it here. Hammond's right there. When they come across the line, I'll give you the race time. They cross the line, it's 28 and 19. I think they're going to just,
2 laps?
and I press just, squeeze another lap in here. Because they're not clocking a minute 41, they're clocking a minute 40. That's going to get them back to the line with a second to go. They're going to get 2 laps here. This isn't over yet.
Be good.
Hammond's going to have a chance. But not only that, how are they on fuel for 2 laps?
Actually, very
across
good.
the back straight they go. Will they slow it up to save themselves the hassle of fuel saving?
So maybe Mikey on that lap previous, let the tyres cool down, let him come back to him, and now he's reeling in Hobbo in. So now he's right on his tail again. So now I think the shoe's on the other foot now. Can Hobbo resist the welding torch that Mikey's applying to him?
Yeah, exactly right. It's the blowtorch. It's every single sort of torch you can imagine being thrown at Brenton Hobson right now. Talk about pressure, because each one knows one mistake from the other, the race is done. And that's all it takes. One slip of concentration. One door left open that shouldn't be. Through they come for the last time.
Wide angle shots show us everything.
Listen to the screeching in the wheels.
Yeah, they're not holding back.
Hobson's wheels were squealing through the last couple of corners there. Back to the main straight. Let's have a look at the clock. We've got one to go. 1.036 seconds. That's all there was in it. That's all there was between that race ending on lap 18 or extending to lap 19, and we get our last lap now. So there's going to be 2 more opportunities probably for Hammond to have a crack. He wants to have a look up on the inside at 2. He can't do that. He goes the outside line. You have seen a masterclass from this pair tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Brenton's moves around the outside have been extraordinary. Hammond's moves up the inside have been great. The fact that they've been able to do this without really bumping panels has been a testament to the mantra of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Hammond going down the inside. What a move, what commitment. He's not through one, he's in the dirt. That'll be it. Hobson will win it now. Oh, what commitment from Michael Hammond, but it was just overcooked. He had no choice. He had to have it cracked, didn't he? Because they had 15 seconds up their sleeve. If you make a small mistake, you can still come away with second. But he wouldn't have known otherwise if he didn't have a crack there. It was a hero or zero move, and unfortunately it'll come away with second, which is the 0 in this instance. But what a fight. What a great race. It's not going to come right down to the last corner as we may have hoped, but it gave us a last lap through it all the same. Lights ablaze for Brenton Hobson. He wins in the Mazda MX-5s on a Friday night. Round 1 of Season 3 in the production cars for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. What a cracker of a race that was.
Wow. That was awesome. I mean, Mikey had to have a go. He had the, like you said, he had the time up his sleeve. So yeah, what the hell? Throw it down there at the end of the back stretch. Might stick, might not, but at least he had some leeway where he could recover. What a race! I'm going to keep talking because it sounds like Zach's needing a drink. I'll run through the results. We got Brenton Hobson by 3.4 seconds over Mikey Hammond. Daniel Ackland has tied up 3rd position with Jaden Russell right behind him in 4th. Then we got a massive gap, or a big gap, to Troy Cox. It looks like he had a lonely race there in the Goonies car, to Jonathan Turner. Just crossing the line now. So that means we got Joshua Thomas, a couple seconds behind him, and not far behind him, Simon Francis in the HKS car. As you can see them coming through on your shot now. And Chris Budd right behind them in the Super Cheap Autos car. And the last car on the lead lap is Grant Gill. There he is coming through the carousel into the last turn now. And he'll round out the top 10 and be the last car on the lead lap. 2 more cars to finish where Todd Parks and Simon Ferris are both a lap down in 11th and 12th. What a race.
Extraordinary. On so many levels. Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, you're going to jump behind the wheel of the stock car. And I'm going to be flying solo here for an hour. And I've just had word through. I was hoping Jonesy would come and join me in the booth at some point tonight. He's not even left the north side yet, so he's not even going to get here until we're done. But that's okay. We'll fly solo tonight.
Do the commentary behind my shoulder.
Yeah, exactly right. Oh, boy. What would be worse, having someone commentate over your shoulder or having me in your ears? I don't know.
I think the shoulder, because it'd just be a little bit more creepy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
In the ears, you give me all the information. It's great.
There's probably no good way to answer that, actually, when you think about it. There's the final results on your screen. Brenton Hobson from Michael Hammond, Daniel Ackland, Jaden Russell, and Troy Cox, the top 5. Jonathan Turner, Josh Thomas, Simon Francis, Chris Budd, and Grant Gill. Then Todd Parks and Simon Ferris, everyone else retiring. A long list of retirements in all of that. Todd Parks, Simon Ferris ended up a lap down. What good racing that was. Magnificent stuff. No one sitting in the broadcast green room at the moment, so that's okay. We'll take a quick break. Nick, your final thoughts on all of that? Maybe a driver of the day, if anyone outside of Hobson and Hammond caught your attention?
Geez. I don't think... I'll have to look at the results. I will have to look at the results to give you a firm answer on that one. I'll probably have to come back to you at the end of the night.
Fair enough. Fair enough indeed. All right, well, we might take a break on that one. Fantastic racing, production cars, Season 3, Race 1. A last lap thriller from Michael Hammond and Brenton Hobson. More of that over the next 9 weeks, please, gentlemen. We'll catch up with you in a couple of moments on the other side of this break. Stay with us, Australia. Plenty to come tonight. SimShed Broadcasting covering the Gentleman Sim Racing Club for all of the great people at Central Coast Subaru, LJ Gaindale, Racecraft, Flash Graphics, Oculair, and also Simple Sim Computers. And don't forget Cold Stone Racing, who, of course, Stone Cold Racing, sorry, I'm dyslexic. Stone Cold Racing are bringing you all the action from the Supercar Championship, which is our main course tonight. We've got 2 entrees. We've got the stock cars coming up. On the other side of this, Cal Watmore territory and Glenn Postlethwaite as well. Stick around. We'll grab a break and be back from Mid-Ohio in just a moment. Good to have your company wherever you're tuning in, Australia. Great to be back with you on this Friday night. Gentleman Sim Racing Club, SimShed Broadcasting. And we don't have the fun and frivolity of a rolling start for the stock cars coming your way here, ladies and gentlemen, because they're already underway. Nico Pop, therefore, is sitting in the commentary box with me tonight. That means Brenton Hobson won't be on the grid either. But that's okay because there is a drop round system in play in this stock car series, so it comes in handy at a time like this. And Nick, this is always one of those things, isn't it? On a Friday night when we're scheduling 3 races, occasionally we're going to misschedule something along the way here.
Yeah, that's partly my fault. I thought I had it all timed out really well. Maybe the next lap got me, but these guys are 5 laps in already, so yeah, well, unfortunate. Lucky there's some drop rounds and I can take advantage of that.
Trent Davis and Michael Schreier are leading this race at the moment. You're riding with Michael Schreier. Davis is ahead of him now. I'm just coming down to the field. Obviously, Nick and on starter. No, Cal Watmore is there, but he's 9th. I'm not sure what's happened there, Nick, because he started P1.
Yeah, so who knows what happened there? He could have tossed it off the road, or I'm sure we'll find out in the wash here. But he could have tossed it off the road, or possibly made a pit stop.
Speaking of tossing it off the road, Paul Jansen and the 05 of Michael Cracknell have come together coming onto the main straight there and thrown it off into the grass. But they're back on the circuit now, resuming. You're watching this battle between Bevan Moyes and team.
Look at that, nose to tail.
Oh, it's great racing, isn't it?
Rayhana rejoining there.
Hey, Rayhana off. See, this is the thing. Turn 4's caught so many people out already tonight across the 2 races.
Yeah, so especially with these cars, because you need a long brake zone. Looks like these two are going to have a nice tight fight at the front. But yeah, long brake zone. If you misjudge it, lock a wheel, it's just going to make that brake zone much longer, and yeah, possibility of throwing it off the road.
Indeed. So, lap 6 of 32, just to give you an update too, folks. Race conditions here. 3.62 kilometre circuit, 13 turns, we know all that jazz. 50% fuel limit on these cars, fuel tank capacity. We're running the Fords, the Chevys, the Toyotas, of course, of the stock car Xfinity series. And identical to baseline setups. Weather, we're on the 25th of September at 4:11 in the afternoon, so still in the peak of summer there, or the start of spring, I should say, in the get that right, Zach, the start of autumn in the United States. Partly cloudy, 26 degrees, 32 on track, winds to the west at 13 kilometres an hour. The race, 32 laps, 72 kilometre pit lane speed limit, 88 kilometres for the pace car should we need it, and incident penalties every 5x. There you go, there's a new rule for the season, and a DQ limit is 20x, and there's a 3 fast repair limit. Your thoughts on all of that, Nick?
I'm clamping down on them. They're good drivers, they're getting better as well, and there's more people coming in, so in order to promote fairer racing like what we saw in the previous race, as we see Callum Whitmore trying to make his way back through the field, yeah, I've clamped down on them a little bit. See what happens. It's still a trial and error. If I have to move it up, I'll move it up. If I have to get tighter on it, I will do too. So always constantly changing these goalposts as we look at Jackson Rayhana going into the carousel here, running wide.
And he's under some serious pressure there at the moment too, no doubt about that. He's got
that wall.
The 150.
Yeah.
Good to have Matty Wall in the series, actually. He's a new one.
3 go-karters in a row. Riddell, Rayhana, and Wall.
I was going to say, Matty Wall's a legend, and I have called him in real life, if you can believe that, although I was a lot younger than what I am now. I did so. And therefore, so was he.
He was looking at moving up here at one stage. He said, mate, move up here. It's better. The weather's better. But anyway, he's staying down there in Victoria.
Yeah, except you wind the clock back to the 19th century in the middle of summer. That's the only problem with Queensland.
Yeah, the leaders.
As much as everyone else loves it. It's like next weekend we go back to 1908. It'll be beautiful. Here's the ocular shot with Michael Schreier. And everyone else told me to move up here as well. 25 laps to go here. Good ongoing fight between Schreier and Lavis. First and second. Have a look at how close Schreier is to Trent at the moment.
Just to remind everybody at home, there will be a random safety car between laps 5 and 22. Bunch the field back up again. So There could be guys doing one stop, could be guys just doing sprints and doing 2 stops. We'll see. Glenn Sido Riddell sitting there in 3rd place all by himself now that Rayhana fell off the road. There he is. So you know Matt Wall and Glenn are teammates because they both have yellow cars. Tell you a little funny story about that is I got my teammate to paint up a yellow car for me because I wanted to stick out in the last 2 rounds of the championship, and Sido Riddell joined in yellow car. So there goes that idea. So at least for say Jackson here, you can see he's bright pink and he sticks out.
Indeed, he does. It's one of the trademarks of his sim racing. There's no doubt about that. The white and pink. It's kind of like I must admit the first thing I thought of when I saw Jackson's livery was Neapolitan ice cream minus the chocolate. Because you got the pink, you got the white, and to be honest, I wasn't a chocolate ice cream boy when I was younger. I've grown to it like most people do. But it was always vanilla and strawberry for me, and the sisters had the chocolate. So for me, it was just like looking back to childhood when I saw Jackson's car. But he's a brave man donning the pink every week, I tell you. There aren't too many men that would do that, even in the modern era.
He is friends with Jackson Evans, and Jackson Evans drives a pink car at the moment too. So I guess both Jacksons driving pink is
That's
a
right.
uniform almost. We got Adam Lavis here, followed by who's that right behind him? I can't see on my time.
Adam Lavis behind him. Cal Watmore, I believe, in the 36, is it not?
No, Callum's
Cal's got ahead. Sorry,
Matt
my
Wall
apologies.
now. So he's working Jackson right now. You see Adam here's got his. We've got a new thing happening now, guys. Is the profile pictures are coming into play here. So
Yes.
both Trent and Adam both have their helmets on there. I'm actually going to put my funny picture up.
It was Brad Plank in the 576 behind Adam Lavis.
Another new name. Here's Trent.
Here's Trent and Brenton still doing their thing. Sorry, Michael, I should say. I'm so used to Brenton being at the front of the field, and he's not in the server. Cal Watmore sitting there in 5th. I'll be interested to get his thoughts post-race of what happened there.
So yeah, and we also have team names as well coming through. So you got the Skid Control Boys, you got the Synergy Race Team, and here we got Redback Racing Team here for Brad as well. Brad doesn't show his face on TV. Are these guys all dentists or something?
Yeah.
Not showing their faces on TV. Far out. I'm making sure you guys see my face, but you know it's me.
Maybe they just need to alter their image or something. I don't know.
Fantastic graphics there, though. As we see Callum Watmore here coming up through Thunder Valley right on the back of Jackson Rayhana.
And doing a great job, this pair. This is the battle for 4th in the car race.
And it says Rayhana's up 12 positions.
Indeed he is. He's had a great start. Not so good for Wally, who's just come off the circuit there in the background. You can see him on your screen.
He's making the pit
in the
stop
last couple of corners there. Into the pit lane he comes, but he was on the grass before that.
Carousel's a braking spot.
Lavis, Schreier, Riddell, then Rayhana and Watmore. Watmore's interesting because he has the opportunity to give Jackson Rayhana a lesson in Mid-Ohio sports car course racing right here, right now. And yet he hasn't been able to find a way by just yet. Yeah,
exactly. There you go. Trundling through pit lane cost Matt 22 seconds there. I thought he was actually going to stop, but he just continued on. It'd be interesting to see why Callum has fallen back there, but now he's got the hard task of making his way back through. And as you get further up the field, the guys are faster, and it's harder to get past them.
Indeed. Don't forget, of course, folks, this is leg 2 of the triple header. We'll be bringing you all the action from the supercars for Stone Cold on the other side of this broadcast. So it's a triple header. You get more bang for your buck on a Friday night than any other night of the week for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. 2 races on a Monday night, 2 on a Wednesday night, and 3 on a Friday night. JP doing a nice job there in the director's chair. There's the scroll across the top of the screen. And I dare say, given that we are stock car racing, the scroll will stay for the bulk of the broadcast here. What more around the outside of Rayhana? Are you kidding me? That put it on the inside nicely for the last corner. Job done.
Jackson's fighting back.
Jackson wanted to fight back on the high side, but Cal holds the line going into turn 1. Nicely done. Job done. So Watmore holds on to 3rd. Rayhana back into 4th place. Nick's going to step away and have a chat to Jackson in a private channel. We'll hear back from Nick very shortly.
We are back.
Lavis and Schreier in the meantime still going nose to tail. Here's Adam Lavis and Brad Clank doing the same thing. So Lavis, Schreier, Watmore, Ray Harner. There's the scroll across the top of your screen that shows and tells the story for you. You'll notice throughout the night too, folks, we have a couple of different scrolls at our disposal. We have the totem board that sits in the left-hand corner of the screen there with the leaderboard, and we have the scroll at the top of the screen. You know Stock Car Racing, they use the scroll, so we'll be using the scroll throughout the course of this broadcast. And how good does it look too? Across the top there, all the information that you could imagine being pumped out across the top of the screen, from manufacturers to intervals to incident points to margins, differentials, all that sort of stuff. It's really clever what the boys in SimShed Broadcasting have been able to achieve, and also our own Adam Lavis is learning that new equipment as we go along as well. So Trent Lavis doing a nice job here as the race leader. By gee, what a month this bloke has had. His sim racing has taken a bit of a backwards seat in the last few weeks because he's been in the real world with commitments in Townsville, of course, in the Super Sprinter Series and a few other things as well. But back in the sim on a Friday night, getting ready to be in a pit crew role in the Willowbank 300 for Dylan Cottrell and his team in a couple of weeks out at Queensland Raceway as well. That is, of course, coming up Saturday, October 10, so a big day coming up out there in just over a fortnight. There will be some racing out there tomorrow as well. We might even preview that before the broadcast finishes tonight. Lavis, he's sitting along there nicely at the moment. Race leader by 0.4 of a second. Schreier, Watmore, Ray Harner, and then Adam Lavis. Brad Clank. There's a little bit more detail about the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. 3.56 the length. 32 degrees. The temperature at the moment, have a look at that. It's a beautiful autumn afternoon there. 32 degrees on track, that is. The ambience is 26. So 32 lap race this one. We are circling lap 14. And there is the 64 of Glenn Riddell in behind. Brad Clank and Adam Lavis. Ray Harner and Watmore are further up ahead of them. In fact, Cal Watmore's got by, when he got by Jackson Ray Harner, it's interesting to note, he's put 2.5 seconds between the pair of them already as Cal Watmore in his pursuit of Trent Lavis and Michael Schreier. Interesting to note that the competition caution will bring Watmore back into the proceedings. And Brad Clank, we're riding on board with him now. Looking out from under the guard at the rear of the car. Have a look at that. The onboard shots are just incredible. Brad Clank getting a bit of a hurry up here from Glenn Riddell. They're trying to stay with Adam Lavis, but unable to. How's Jackson Ray Harner going, Nick?
He's a little bit by himself now. Sido Riddell went off the road and had to back it out.
Yep.
Matt Ball went through pit lane. I was just listening to his fuel burn numbers, and it looks like even before the safety car, it's going to be a one-stopper, which is unfortunate. I was hoping for a two-stopper. We might have to reduce the tanks, but
yeah.
He's going actually at the same pace as the leaders. It's just the initial pace on the new tyre, the front two just had it on him, and I was looking before. Trent did a 25 as his best, as Jaxie is on a 26. It looks like they're all lapping in 28s now. It's kind of all leveled out. Apparently Callum started from pit lane. We'll have to find out what's going on there as we see Riddell and Moyes in pit lane. So maybe Riddell's going to get it now done before the safety car comes out, which might be a smart idea. And then catch back up on the safety car. Shouldn't go a lap down. They're taking left side tyres. Will they take... Oh, sorry, right side tyres. Will they take left? Looks like they are. So, good little quick stop there. Be interesting to see how the front two get separated. The first one that blinks there is going to basically come out ahead.
Indeed. And this is the thing too, the competition caution, as you say, with it only being a one-stop race, it'll be interesting to see where that competition caution falls and whether everyone can pit and get home from that point, or whether it's going to be more beneficial to pit after the competition caution. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking they got to pit in the next 2 laps anyway, which will be right on halfway. But a little bit, once again, slight miscalculation on my part. Rayhana's in. You can see there the time ticking away at the bottom of the screen, guys. But yeah, look, I'd say now, pit now. That way, when the safety car comes out, you catch right back up. And if those guys who haven't pitted when the safety car comes out, they fall to the back of the line. So my deal will be pit now, get it out of the way. Matt Wall's in, Julian Muckey's in. Get it done, knock it on the head. Save initially because the tire's really good for the first 2 laps, but then it really falls away if you really go at it. 15 seconds pit stop there by Jackson, so it looks like he took all 4 tires. And then, wow, Shreya's getting close here. And then, yeah, just take it easier behind the safety car, save a bit of tire and fuel, and then just sprint to the end. Mucky did a faster stop there, 14.8. Looks like he's jumped Matt Wall here at 14.6 seconds as well. So both faster stops than Jackson, but looks like he's left pit lane.
Indeed it does.
Great information on the screen, guys. It's awesome.
Absolutely tremendous. More information than you've ever had at your disposal during a sim racing broadcast for the Gentlemen Sim Racing Car Club. Here come the leaders into the lane. Oh, I tell you what, that was commitment from both Lavis and Shreya trying to get it pulled up there. My goodness, that was brilliant. And Rayhana's off the road as well. Rayhana was off the road through turn 4 there. We'll have a replay of that no doubt later on. But Shreya and Lavis are in the lane. In behind them. Also,
everybody's pitting now.
Adam Lavis is in. Brad Clank's in. This will be the critical lap.
Shreya's got... Wow, Trent just makes it to the blend line.
I tell you what.
Wow.
Wow.
15.7 versus 14.5, so Trent took all 4 tyres as well. That puts Watmore in the lead.
Indeed it does.
It's great information. You get to see the fuel strategy, where they've pitted. Oh man, that's going to reveal all my little tricks to everybody. Damn it, that graph.
There you go.
And there's your leader. He slowed down into the 29s. So the tyres really do fall off here, as they do at every track with these cars.
Absolutely. This is the interesting thing, though. Because Watmore's come through, he will still have another pit stop, you would think. So what will be the strategy play for Cal Watmore, and where is this caution falling? It has to fall sometime before lap 22. It won't be thrown after lap 22. It won't be thrown in that last 10 laps. There it is now. Right on cue. Caution time.
He's going to have a long day ahead of him.
Watmore is in a lot of trouble now. He won't be a happy camper.
Literally about to enter pit lane.
Wow.
Well, at least a good thing for him. I guess to turn a negative into a positive. At least the field's going to be bunched. He's going to be able to...
But this is the thing, look how slowly he's going, Nick. Is he that close on fuel that he might not make it back?
Oh, he might have
you're kidding me. This is extraordinary from Cal Watmore.
I wonder if we can jump on board and see his tacho coming down the back stretch if it just completely dies, because I reckon he'll turn the car off.
He's got Trent Lavis right behind him.
He's got about 800 RPM there. Yep, he's back on. He's turned it back on again. Watch that little switch there to his right hand.
Yep.
It'll go to an off position when he turns it off. He's got the clutch in now. There it goes. Clutch is in. He hasn't turned it off completely. It's got about 800 revs, keeping it ticking over.
This will be the slowest lap of the night.
Oh, man.
I cannot believe this. And probably neither can he. What rotten luck.
Someone's taking a pit stop. Who's this? 12th position.
And Trent Lavis will owe race control a veer after this one, I'm sure. Wow.
That's the risk you have to run, is like, you want to try and go as far as you can to try and make the fuel last, but on the flip side,
And
You
you
can
know what it's like to be caught out by that.
Yeah, you get trapped by the safety car, and there's nothing more frustrating. It happened to me at the last race at Daytona there, and I just went and pitted and took the black flag on the chin. So, luckily that was a longer race, but now it's literally a fuel save, leave it in fourth gear, and because this place is hilly, yes, there's advantages of going down the hills, but from here on in, it's uphill. Literally, the track is uphill. So,
This is extraordinary.
there you go. Teammates working
Trent
together.
Lavis is pushing Cal Watmore back to the pit lane. Can you believe that?
Skid control boys working together.
This is just astonishing in the first race of the season. Cal Watmore, the man that you'd expect to win these things, in trouble. And in massive trouble because he's going to fall to the back of the field once this pit stop is taken. Trent Lavis pushing him all the way around.
There's another thing here that Trent must be behind Callum as he crosses the blend line into the pits. So he can push him, but he's got to back off again. Because if he gets in front of him, he'll get a penalty as well.
Oh, dear. I have a nasty feeling about this.
So where's the blend line? I hope he doesn't get a penalty.
Oh, no.
I think he might have just made it.
I think you're okay.
Pits are open.
Sigh of relief for Trent Lavis. Pits are open. They don't need to pit. Just Cal Watmore in desperate need of a stop here. And Matty Wall as well.
So Matt was one of the first cars to pit, so he might be just going for a top-up. And then, he's been sitting there for a while, but he might go for a top-up and get out again.
Can I just say on the subject of Matty Wall, one of the great Victorians in terms of karting, there are Victorians currently quarantining in Darwin, in the diary, another episode in the diary of those that have more money than me, quarantining in Darwin for the sake of the Queensland Karting Championships next weekend. That desperate to get out of Darwin that they'll throw $2,500 away on an excursion that they won't get to enjoy any of the sights and sounds of Darwin and then come to Queensland. Fair dinkum. Right. I applaud the commitment and I wish them well next weekend, but fair dinkum.
I remember Matt invited me out to Willowbank there, and I watched the KZ2s, and my jaw dropped. I've never seen something so quick. KZ2 is bloody awesome. 12 groups, 14 classes, 253 competitors all lining up next weekend. So 5-race program. Yes, exactly. There are COVID-safe protocols and measures in place, so much so that I'm up on a scissor lift for commentary, so that'll be fun. Oh, wow. Trincy's going to bring out 2 truckloads or just 1?
Probably 2, and that's all coming up from Friday. They qualify at 2 o'clock. Then they're going to do some heat racing in the afternoon. Once I get the full timetable, I'll know whether I'll be back with you for any portion of next Friday night, but I will probably miss the production car race, but I'll probably get home for the supercars, so looking forward to that.
All right, so we've got another lap under safety car here. We'll run through the scoreboard at the moment. We've got Trent Lavis in front, followed by Michael Schrager, Glenn Sido Riddell in third, Bevan Moyes in fourth, Jackson Rayhana in fifth. Is it Bradley Clink?
Bradley Clink, yep.
In sixth. Adam Lavis in, I missed it now, Adam Lavis in seventh.
Kester Ward is behind him, then Julian Muck and Cal Watmore.
And Cal Watmore, thank you. You can see here, we've set it to the actual today's date as well.
Yes, it is. It's set beautifully to September 25.
About
it is 4:33 in the afternoon. It's the middle of fall. And again, the advantages of Mid-Ohio compared to Queensland, it just looks better.
67% humidity as well. So I might fuck around with the weather a bit for the next round and also get the timing right so I can race. But you can see here the highest climber so far, Glenn Sido Riddell, up 12 spots. Pretty good work there. And the biggest faller, I would say, will be... Oh no, Callum's got a 0. So I heard he started from pit lane. So it looks like Julian Mucky has dropped 6 spots there. And then obviously you can see me, I'm in 16th apparently. Unfortunately.
And anyway. Going along nicely. Oh dear. Interesting to note too, for those of you playing along at home, we are seeing exactly what you see as it goes to air tonight, and we're very grateful for that. And Nick may have noticed that the screen's doubled in size at our end since these production car rates as well. So it's making everything a little bit easier for us So much so that I haven't even referenced the live timing screen that's up here at the moment for us. But Trent Lavis, it was showing. I just jinxed it. Trent Lavis, there we go. Michael Schrager, Glenn Riddell, Bevan Moyes, Jackson Rayhana, and Brad Clank, the top 6. We're getting ready to go for a restart here.
Yeah, lights are out. I reckon watch these first 2. They're going to be on it.
Yep, who's your money on?
Speed. Oh, jeez. Having raced against both of them, I don't know. I'm just gonna say Trent because he's currently in front and it's just a little bit easy to defend.
This is true.
You know, like I said, it's a chess match, especially around here with all the ups and downs and the tight turns, opening turns, closing turns. Anything can happen. And watch Watmore coming back from 10th.
Anything can happen, and it usually does. Back to green at Mid-Ohio. Look at this. Trent Lavis leads us back across the line. We have got 12 laps to go. Lap 21 of 32. Lavis. And then you go back to Schreier. Adam Lavis sitting there nicely in position number 7 at the moment. Made light work of Kester Ward off the restart there. Carl Watmore looking for a way through. Bevan Moyes going along nicely. Through on Jackson Rayhana. Back straight at post. Now, if memory serves, Trent Lavis has GT wins. He won that Indy race as well. The Indy Motor Focus 250, I think it was. But he hasn't won a stock car race. So this could be a first for him tonight as Rayhana had a look there on the inside of Bevan Moyes, but wasn't able to pull it off.
I love the safety car. Bunches them all back up again. You get to see having
more of that, please.
Right.
Maybe we should have green white checker in our stock car races.
We might have to run overtime on the oh wow, look at Callum Watmore. Yeah, exactly.
He's really in the thick of it, isn't he? He's really in the thick of it here, Cal Watmore.
Matt Wall down to the inside, and something's happened here to Matt Wall.
And he's in a little bit of trouble, slipping back down the order, and losing time as well.
You just see Callum Watmore in tune with this track. He's taking more curb, more everything around here, and he just knows where to put it. Oh, they're all in the pit lane.
Oh no, they're all in the pit lane.
Oh, they've had a clash.
Watmore's in.
I think him and Mucky had a hit, and they know where to go but in pit lane.
Wall's in, Mucky's in, and that will be Wall's day done, and Watmore's day done. More importantly, he won't win from there. Trent Lavis, it's all up to you, mate. Michael Schreier, Glenn Riddell, 2-3 at the moment.
Yeah, Sido Riddell's actually sticking with these guys, and the gap's a bit bigger than I thought. And here we go. Jackson Rayhana's going to have a look down here into the braking zone. He's to the inside. It looks like they're going to go side by side. And as you say, job done. Oh no, he's coming back again.
Oh, look at that, back on the inside. Rayhana loses out to both of them. Oh, look at this. The 576 up around the outside. Brad Clank forcing the issue with Rayhana. But Rayhana fighting back down the inside of Bevan Moyes. And look at Clank on the inside of Moyes now. And all of that, it's like musical chairs out there.
Too wild. Awesome. Look who's lurking in the background too.
Exactly right. Adam Lavis. 10 to go next time by the line. No more cautions from here. We're green to the checkered flag. We're commercial free to the flag. And it's Michael Cracknell on your screen at the moment, following Kester Ward through.
Just got a sprint head down.
The Supercar race on the next side of this, but for the moment we've got a thrilling finish on our hands in stock cars at the Lexington, in Lexington, Ohio, at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, I should say.
Wow. Kester Ward's back again. It's good to see him back again and giving a good crack. Trent here's got a bit of a gap now. 8 tenths, 9 tenths. Who knows? Michael Schreier might be conserving his tyres to have another crack in the back half of these last 10 laps. So this track is just up and down and left and right. It just wears those tyres away. So, Sido Riddell.
Wall in trouble. Oh, Riddell, I should say.
Same colour. Yeah. They're teammates.
We'll get a replay of that for you. Here it is. Talk us through this, Nick.
Coming down to the end of the back stretch. If you muck your braking zone up, I said this before, you muck it up by 5 metres, it's going to cost you 10 metres at the end. Yeah, he's locked it up. Just come off the road. Just touch the gravel trap. Through goes Rayhana for third. We got Rayhana for third. Fourth, fifth. He's going to rejoin sixth. Wow.
Oh, wow. He did want to pull that up, actually. And huge thanks to SimShed Broadcasting for bringing you all the awesome replays here tonight.
He's in, get a new
Now
set of tires.
Riddell is in the lane. Riddell said, look, that's it. I've got to come in. And here's the thing. Fast repairs, they're still not your friend because you're going to lose a lot of time out on the racetrack, but they are your friend at the same time because the loss could be so much more. 125.17, fastest lap of the race for Carl Watmore.
Wow.
What about that?
Shreyas.
What pace from Watmore in the closing stages here with some clear air? What can he do? He's not. He's what is he? About 20 seconds away from Lavis. He can't win it from here, surely. But it won't
Stranger
stop
things
him
have
from
happened. I do
Yeah,
believe
that's
you get
right.
a fastest lap bonus as well. There's a whole new
Actually-
point system for the bonuses in play. I remember Adams put some
Yeah.
nice things in play. I actually don't know them.
But where
100%
are
off the
we?
top of my head.
Where are we with regards to incident points, Nick? Because that could be critical as well.
Yeah, I actually don't have them on hand. I think they'll come up on screen right now. So I got
Okay.
Rayhana on 5, Moyes on 3. Who else? Wall's got 6. Got 2. Riddell's got 3. So there's not many. So unfortunate for those guys that do have them, but fortunate for say Lavis and Shreya, they got zeros. They got donuts.
Interesting to point that incident count penalties every 5x. So there's 2 drivers, and Watmore's in again. Watmore is in the lane for a 3rd time in what is a shocking night out at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
Comes a long night.
That's what I was getting at. I was more worried about where they were on incident points because I thought that could be why we're seeing all these infrequent pit stops.
It
For
could be it.
penalties.
I might have to make a bit of leeway there. But I think Shrey his cap's blown out a little bit, but I think Shrey is actually getting closer to Trent here.
Could be in for a cracker of a finish here.
Oh, I hate to go. Drink some water, Zach, because I think it's going to spice up towards the end of this.
I've literally just run out of drink. I'm going to have to go and get some in the intermission between the next 2 races. I was hoping to have a little bit of time in the last one, but we didn't end up having time. So it'll be a quick dash to the fridge, which has got the orange cordial on ice at the moment at the end of this race. But I might even grab a Strepsil while I'm out there. The throat is a little bit rusty tonight.
These guys have been at it.
Might be the late finish on Wednesday night too.
Yeah. These guys have been at it, I think, from the get-go. So they've done they're going to be doing 32 laps without taking their eyes off each other. Tough battle. And you can see they've
Indeed.
pulled clear of everybody.
They're doing a very nice job of it. There's no doubt about that. And Lavis has just driven a calm, cool, consistent race. He was a little bit wide there coming onto the back straight, but he's got 7 laps to go. Just got to keep doing what he's doing. And he'll grab the first win of the new season. Now, interesting to note, our good mate Chris Whittaker absent tonight from the grid.
I think he might
No
be.
Brendan Whittaker either.
I think they're having a crack in the V8s.
Okay, gotcha. No tripling up, no doubling up or tripling
Doubling
up.
up, I don't think so, no. Oh, under
Yeah.
brakes.
Hey, up on the
a look.
inside. Clank on
Oh,
the 20
smoke
unable to get the
everywhere.
job done. And big smoke from Bevan Moyes there.
And I've just,
Magnificent.
on my own computer screen, I've just jumped onto Adam Lavis's onboard on his Twitch stream, and there's just smoke everywhere. So, and he's
I
got
could imagine.
JP Simshed playing in the bottom corner of his too. So he gets to see everything.
He did some very nice work with some graphics the other night and some logos and emblems and everything else. You'll see them on Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Looking forward to that. In the meantime, have a look
And
at
the
curb
cameras.
cam. Just look at curb cam rattle as the cars waltz across it. Magnificent. The attention to detail of iRacing, I say it all the time, it just sets the standard by which others follow. It's really
Exactly
good to
it.
see it continue to advance. And,
So
and what they've been able to do during COVID, okay, they haven't been able to go out and laser scan every track in the Southern Hemisphere or the Northern Hemisphere, but been able to just make some little tweaks and modifications to improve the quality of what we do.
Jackson's coming under pressure from these guys. The Bevan Moyes and Bradley Clenk as they have a look into the hairpin. And I believe Michael Schreier and Trent have kind of leveled out now at 1.1 seconds. Still close. Looking further afield, you got Kester Ward still getting back used to these cars, but Callum Watmore I think he's just got the Back to the Future flames coming off his wheels at the moment.
Yeah. Hey, just quickly, Paul Jansen has manually disconnected. That was before the caution. We've also lost Pete Matson. We've also lost Matty Wall and Glenn Cedar Riddell as well. So we've got 10 cars left out there at this point in time. Yeah, Wally chucked in the towel. That's okay. We'll catch up with him another week. Unless he's going to go and have a crack at the Supercar as well. I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, it's going to be massive, isn't it? I mean, the attention that has been focused on the Porsches, the GT3s in general, and also the Supercars, massive numbers there.
Who's this? Mucky's letting the leaders through.
And Bevan Moyes is in pit lane as well.
So Trent's just done a 27.4. I hate that. My name's last on the list.
Yeah.
And the gap's gone at roughly just on it's 1 second now. Back to 1 second. So the lap traffic's not helping Michael, but Michael's trying to put the thumb screws in and trying to force a mistake. But Trent's really good at the back end of the race. He's got Bevan here.
He's in pit lane. Took a couple of tyres.
Right side and left side tyres there.
And took all fours. There you go. The Stone Cold Race.
There is bonus points for the fastest lap, so maybe he's trying to get the bonus.
Yeah, correct. So pressure will be on there. Pressure will be on because he's got it at the moment. 0.7 of a second. That's all that separates Michael Schreier and Trent Lavis. Watch this battle continue here, ladies and gentlemen. These two going toe-to-toe right the way to the finish. 4.5 to go in Mid-Ohio.
How good do these things sound?
Make it 4 to go as they cross the line. I lost track of where we were on the racetrack then. Across the line, 4 to go. The live timing shows and tells the story. The fastest lap of the race belongs to Cal Watmore, a 25.82. That is scintillating pace considering everyone else is in the 27s or the 28s. We'll wait and see what Bevan Moyes can do with those fresh tyres, but I think Cal Watmore on what's been a really rough night will secure the bonus points to the fastest lap. He's certainly not going to get it on incident points.
Yeah. Trey here now is down to 0.6 of a second. I think he's closing in now. He's doing his little sprint for the flag here. He's going to try and put some pressure on Trent now. Rayhana in third. He's got pressure from behind from Clenk. And then you got another gap to Adam Lavis and who we got here? Michael Cracknell. Haven't had too much of a mention to him. There's Brad Clenk, debutant in this particular series. Good on him having a go with the GameSpot Toyota Camry here, and now he's right all over the back of Jackson Rayhana, who's blinking now. Oh, he's back on screen.
Would you believe it? This is a topic that you and I have been debating about and talking about in the broadcast throughout the year. I just had a friend put up a post with regards to what's a massive weekend of motorsport saying daylight saving ends in Europe this weekend, so all the races are an hour later for MotoGP. Not true. It's because the Formula One race is 2 hours earlier that MotoGP race has been pushed back to 11 p.m. So for anyone that's wondering, no, it's just to avoid a clash with Formula One because there are broadcasters that take both races, obviously, right around the world. It's a commercial television thing, ladies and gentlemen. Now, 3 laps to go.
I don't talk that. That's Nico that talks daylight saving. I don't want to rustle the wasp's nest here. So both the Lavis brothers, I'm just looking at Adams as well. They both have mirrors full of cars, and Michael is just getting closer and closer. It looks like the lap times are going across the top. Trent's done a 25.2, Schreier's done a 25.3 as their fastest laps. So, what did you say? Where's Callum here? Moyes has done a 25.8.
Yeah, he's a tenth away from Watmore.
Yeah.
A tenth away from Watmore. It was a PB for Bevan Moyes here. Here's a replay. Jackson Rayhana and also Brad Clenk. Now,
it's a great looking car.
That was Ray Harmer's
Blinky Bill.
disappeared. A little bit of Blinky Bill. And then Clank sideways. Out of the corner down the back straight. Not much else to tell you there.
It's very hard as a following driver to try and predict where they pop up. I know I had that with Glenn Postlethwaite in the last season. You're just trying to predict where he's going to be, and unfortunately with the blinks, the computer and the iRacing servers try and predict where you're going to be, and you actually start falling back through the field in terms of your lap time. So it's really hard. As Michael Schreier here is really putting on the pressure here. He's coming close. He's coming now. 2 to go.
And this is the thing. He knows that we're at the critical point of the race. It doesn't feel like we've got to the end of the race already, but we are. We are on lap 31 of 32. Lavis has about 10 car lengths over Schreier. Schreier closes right up under brakes. He's got to have a real crack. He's got the opportunity to get to Lavis in the next lap and a half, and he needs to be there by the end of the back straight next time round, you would suspect.
Yeah, I think Michael's saved. Trent's partially saved. It's just how much has Trent got left in the tank. Michael's really putting on a spurt here. He's going for it now. Turning down the little back stretch here through what they call Thunder Valley. Through the left hand, through a very gentle right, through the left kink here into the carousel. Michael keeps closing in here.
This is interesting. If you're Trent Lavis, you just keep driving your own race the way you've driven it all night, but you're also slightly aware of the presence of Michael Schreier. He's really applying the pressure here. He's putting the blowtorch to Trent Lavis here. 1 lap to go in Mid-Ohio. 3-2-1.
Trent a little sideways there.
The pressure's getting to Lavis.
Michael's lines are more open and they're a little neater.
Ray Harmer's in the lane, Clank's in as well.
Here we go. Michael has to get a good run off this turn to get a nice look at Trent down here, but it may be that little bit too far, and the next one will be into the carousel, which could be really dangerous. And as we saw with Callum Watmore, if you get a bit of contact, you got nowhere to go but into the pit lane.
Exactly right. Now, I think, as you said all along, Trent wins this because he's in the right position. He's got the easy job of leading from the front. Michael had the uphill task, but by G, he's pushed Trent every step of the way. Let's wait and see. Last couple of corners. What can Michael Schreier do here? Can he get close enough to have a crack on on Trent Lavis? I'm so used to it being Cal out in front, don't blame me. Down the back for the last time. We are so close to the checkered flag here. Trent Lavis.
Watch the
2 corners to go.
No.
No, Schreier's not going to be close enough. He's just got to get it around the last couple of corners cleanly here. And this will be a first stock car win for Trent Lavis, Mr. Versatility in the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Gets the job done at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Lavis wins on a Friday night. And that means that he's won in 3 different disciplines throughout the course of the year. He won the IndyCar race that we did in the Oval in May on the 250-mile 100 Motofocus 100. He won in the GT series in the first season on a couple of occasions. He's now had a win in stock cars. He'll be delighted with that. And it's a very nice bit of success for him this time round. In the absence of some heavy hitters in Hobson, in Postlethwaite, and also with the dramas for Cal Watmore, who is again in the pit lane, but finishes 10th. Sorry, 9th, I should say. But what a night that was. Trent Lavis from Michael Schreier, Michael Cracknell. How's that for a podium? I'd love to see what the first 4 was paying through Sportsbet, because Adam Lavis got up and finished 4th. And Jackson Rayhana was 5th. Brad Clank, Kester Ward, Bevan Moyes, Cal Watmore, and Julian Muckey, the top 10. Everyone else not finishing or not starting in Nick's case. There you are down in position number 17. What a race, though. I mean, Trent Lavis, Michael Schreier. Okay, it didn't have the intensity of a Postlethwaite Watmore, but as we watch Lavis light it up here, he's going to celebrate big time.
Or a Hobson.
What we saw was a great fight between Lavis and Schreier all the way to the end. Schreier just couldn't get close enough, and it wasn't worth risking it when you have the potential of throwing away potential clean race bonus points and potential championship points this early in the season. Lavis from Schreier and Cal Watmore with a little bit of catch-up work to do in the next few rounds.
Yeah, and it's the same two teams. It's the Skid Control boys and the Synergy Sim Racing team. They just seem to be. They have, I guess, the best drivers at the moment, and they have the most consistent drivers. And one of those things. It's like I said for Phillip Island myself. You know, you just got to be there. You got to be in it to win it, and you got to be there to capitalize on mistakes. So clearly, Callum's had some issues tonight. Hobson hasn't. I don't know if he was going to do it, but I think he was going to do the triple. He was going to give it a shot. Couldn't join because I missed time the sever. I missed time the sever. So there's at least 3 more cars there, and I think there was a couple of other guys from the MX5s that were going to have a run. So you just got to be there to capitalize.
Have a look at the boys celebrating on track here. The Skid Control boys lighting it up on a Friday night. Kester Ward, Adam Lavis, Trent Lavis. Well done to Trent. Chalk up one. Another new winner in the StockCar Series, which is always a good thing.
100%. When I tuned in to say hello to Jackson, he said I'm in 3rd place. I'm like, fuck, excuse me, good, well done, mate. I hope that gets beat. But he actually sounded really surprised too. So
yeah, I get you.
He's getting better and better as we go along. Everybody's getting better and better. And then when we flick to the supercars,
yep,
they're going to drive, possibly the hardest cars. To one of the hardest cars to another one of the hardest cars. It's just going to be child's play now.
They're going to be sweating profusely at the end of the night here. We'll update you on championship points and everything else at the end of the broadcast here if we can, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Lavis is on early shift tomorrow morning, so he may not be sticking around to punch all the numbers for us. However, let's just have a little bit of a chat here post-race.
To the victor of the spoils,
to the man that's cleaned up, if you don't mind, Trent Lavis. That's got to be a sweet feeling, my friend. First up in the new season and adding to the success that you enjoyed in an IndyCar in May and the GT Series in June, July, mate. Well done.
About time I freaking won one, hey?
Good work, dude.
Well done. It's been coming for a while. You've had podiums, you've had a few other things, but finally getting a race win under your belt. Michael Schreier made it difficult. He pushed you every step of the way, but you did what you needed to do. You drove fast, you drove hard, you focused on your own job, kept it smooth and consistent, reaped the reward as a result.
Yeah, mate. Me and Michael there. Michael had the heat on me. He was within a second, I think, the entire race. It was absolutely awesome. We even had a bit of a battle in the pits as well with the fuel strat. I short filled a smidge, and so did he, and it was like almost bang on.
You nearly jumped.
I got such a good launch out of my pit box. I just got him over the control line. Like it was hammer and tong. But what a fantastic race! It was a lot of fun, and I am sweating.
Rightly so.
And rightly so. Fantastic race. First up for the new season. But do you have any idea what was the cause of a rotten night for Cal?
Oh, Cal would have blitzed us if he was out in front, but he wanted to have a bit of fun, so he started from the back. It sounds like he's got into a little bit of mischief on his way through, but he certainly had the pace on us. But whether he could catch us at the end, I don't think he would have. Mine and Michael's race pace there was only like half a second off our race quality time. First 3 or so laps, so we were actually flying out the front there. I think we gapped whoever was in third pretty darn quickly, and just keeping it nice and straight and smooth and saving a bit of fuel so I could make the one-stop work. And, it was awesome.
Well, fuel saving is always a factor or a talking point in these races. We've got stock supercars coming up for you too very shortly, ladies and gentlemen, so hang tight for that. We'll stick here with Trent Lavis for just a moment whilst Nick and JP and I all load into the other server. But what's an interesting point here, and Nick might be able to chime in, the races are a little bit shorter this season, Nick. 32 laps.
So maybe it's the same thing.
I'll have to let Nico know that I got charged an extra $1.40 to make all that happen. I'm totally out of iRacing credits. Good to have you company once again, I should say, ladies and gentlemen, as per usual on a Friday night. Get my sentence structure right, Zach. That'll be a good start. Welcome back to the Gentleman Sim Racing Club on SimShed Broadcasting. We are still at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course, but we've turned our attention from stock cars to supercars. Nick's going to stay here for a little bit, but he won't be here all night. So Trent Lavis, who won the stock car race, and we were talking to before we had some tech issues, he will stay with us and chat throughout the course of the race to us as well. Qualifying underway here for round one of the Stone Cold Supercar Series on a Friday night. And Nick, as we've pointed out already tonight, this is the big draw card within the club. Yes, the GT3 and the Porsche GT3 Series, they're both hugely popular, but for some reason, everyone loves a supercar.
Every Aussie loves a supercar.
Yes.
And then if you combine that with Bathurst, I think everybody will come out of the woodwork, myself included. So, yeah, Mid-Ohio supercars, a little bit easier to drive than the stock cars. A couple more gears, so it should be a little closer. And like you said, everybody's come here to give this a crack.
Indeed, they have. I'm not sure where our conversation ceased while we were talking to Trent Lavis, but mate, again, well done on the stock car win. The supercar spectacle should be hugely interesting and competitive, though.
Yeah, mate, the V8 supercars always put on a great show, and looking at this quality of field, it should be a really awesome race. It's super tight racing, and the boys are going to put on a good show, hopefully.
Just saw Daniel Ackland go heavily into the wall. We're in the early stages of qualifying here, so you'll see some time scrolling up across the bottom of your screen there. And at the moment, Troy Cox, Curtis Williams, David Kirby, Simon Francis all on hot laps out there. Red means slow, green means PB, purple means fastest overall in the respective sectors. So keep your eyes peeled for all of that. We are only 6 minutes into the qualifying session. It is a 30-minute qualifying session. And then we'll get stuck into a 45-minute race. So the race start time here is going to be pushing 9:50 p.m. once we get underway. And then, therefore, our broadcast is going to go through till around about 11 o'clock. We'll keep the post-race interviews as tight as we can tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Spinner there at turn 2. Trent, what'd you make of the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course, mate? I didn't get a chance to ask you that.
It's a fantastic track. We know the stock cars used to transit here once a year, and for a road course, it's super complicated, especially for a big old tank like the stock cars, overpowered, undertired. So conserving tyres is absolutely crucial to get a good race out of the car. So I think in that stock car race, then we had to go 15 laps on one set of tyres, and the pace dropped off almost 5 or 6 seconds over the stint.
Where we were when we dropped out too, folks, we were talking about the fact that the 32-lap races was significantly shorter, about 40k shorter than the usual stock car races around the 150, 160 kilometre mark. They usually were. Tonight's was around 120 kilometres, all as part of making little sacrifices along the way to make everything fit into the broadcast window on a Friday night, of course. With production cars trimming to 30 minutes and then stock cars to... I didn't get a look at the race time in the end. We've got trouble here on circuit. One of the cars moving rather slowly. That's the double 8. So, good to see him back on the grid. He was looking forward to the triple tonight, as I'm sure a few of you were, but he wasn't on the grid for the stock cars with that little error that we had. But he'll be all guns blazing ready for the supercars here. So obviously, Trent, to go back to the point, and we'll start talking supercars in just a moment, folks. We'll just curtail this stock car talk first. The strategy play was completely different tonight, because when we got to that caution window, some of you had already reached your critical number, already fueled up, didn't need to stop. Some had to stop. You ended up having to push Cal Watmore to the pit lane because he just all but run out of fuel and was planning to pit when the caution was thrown and had to try and squeeze another lap out. So instead of the usual talk about, tyre wear was still a factor, but not as big a factor as usual. Fuel wasn't as big a factor because it was a one-stop race pretty much. So the shorter races, are you a fan of that from a standpoint of it's a little bit less wear and tear on the body? Or would you prefer the longer races from the standpoint of strategy play, gameplay?
I'm a huge fan of the strategy play. I like to use my brain a little bit, and my one lap pace is not exceptional. Oh, we just had a bit of incident in the background there.
2 cars off. We'll no doubt see a replay of that for you in just a moment. One of them was Michael Schreier.
But I'm actually a big fan of the longer races, the strategy play with those cars, especially where tyre degradation and the fuel stops, and the tyre stops actually bringing a lot of players into the game, into the mix.
Yeah, I'm with Trent on that. I'd rather a longer race, and then cat and mouse and fox a bit to try and get ahead. But yeah, as it is, we have to put 3 races on. Right. Have to shorten it up.
And one of the big problems you've got coming up too is the fact that we break into 5 different time zones instead of 3. So trying to accommodate Western Australia as well as Eastern Australia, and not being too late on the East Coast when everyone finishes racing the 3rd race. There's a lot of logistics that go into planning a season, Nick, especially when there's 3 races on a Friday night.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, don't get me started on the time differences, and then we got people in New Zealand who want to join in as well.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
32-8 Friday Night Football, Souths over Sydney Roosters at the moment. No AFL tonight. Of course, they've got a week off before the finals. And we'll update you on Formula 1 and MotoGP a little bit later on in the broadcast. Brenton Hobson from John Merritt and Matty Muscord. Then we go back to Michael Angus, Michael Schreier. They're at the top of the time sheet at the moment in qualifying here. Brenton Hobson's on a flyer now. So let's follow this. The Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, 122.6, the benchmark he set earlier. Round onto the main straight across the start-finish line. And Hobson, a 22.24. So he's just put 4 tenths on his previous best. What a lap from Hobson. Fantastic stuff. That is marvellous.
Between him and John Merritt, half a second.
And as you proved in the stock car race, Trent, an inch is as good as a mile here. Not only is overtaking difficult on this course, but half a second's hard to make up.
Yeah, mate, half a second around here is an age, actually. So hopefully we'll get someone else up there that'll give him a run for his money. But it looks like Hobbo's the safe bet at the moment, the way things are travelling. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes over a race distance.
Indeed. Looking forward to seeing how this race plays out as well, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you we've got 31 cars in the server. Warwick Sharp, Chris Stark, Kester Ward and James M.D. Wood yet to post a lap time. And Jackson Rayhana sitting down in 27th position at the moment. Gentlemen Sim Racing Club action on SimShed Broadcasting, proudly brought to you by Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hooker Gaindar, Racecraft, Flash Graphics, Oculair, and also Simple Sim Computers. Monday night, our attention turns to round 2 of the GT Series. I don't know if that's something I want to mention with you, Trent, after Monday night. It didn't last too long, unfortunately. But we go to a circuit that you enjoyed success at earlier this year, back at the end of June, Brands Hatch. You must be looking forward to getting back there.
Yeah, mate, I don't mind Brands Hatch. It's a nice flying track, and that back section there always gives me goosebumps every time you're flying over top of that hill. Not knowing whether you're going to hit the fence or make it around the corner. It's an awesome track and awesome commitment track, like what we've got around here with Lakeside.
Well, this is exactly right. Wednesday night, Okayama, the international circuit there. Nick, I know you'll be looking forward to trying to repeat the success you enjoyed on Wednesday night at Suzuka without spinning in the first corner this time around.
Well, don't remind me. Yeah, no, it should be good. I did like the full circuit there, a bit of up and down as well. But once again, quite a technical circuit, especially with the back half with the 3 hairpins in that section with 2 back-to-back. So it should separate the men from the boys.
Indeed, it should. Looking forward to that immensely. And then, of course, next Friday night, Road America, the venue for production cars into stock cars and supercars. In fact, looking at the calendar, because we haven't done that yet for the supercars, I'll just mention where we're going to. Just continue to follow this car around onto the main straight, the number 13, across the start-finish line. Of course, that's John Merritt. What a nice number there.
So he
23.24 at this point in time, so he fell away at the end, but he's still half a second away. Hobbo's got half a second on the field.
So John Merritt's part of the same team of Matt Wall and Glenn Sitter-Adele. They're the Pulse Racing crew. So they'll generally have yellow cars, I believe.
That's good for me. I like that. Nick, do they have a similar rule as you in the sense that there's got to be at least one team representative in each race that's broadcast?
I'm not too sure. I mean, you look at that stock car race, there's quite a few skid control guys, and then these guys, the JK Sign guys, what are they called again? Possie's team and the like. So, yeah, look, it's good for the sponsors. It's good exposure. Another spinner.
There's been a few of them tonight. I tell you what, trouble points, turn 1, turn 4. They've been the two major incident areas tonight, and maybe even the second last corner, turn 12 as well. Yeah,
well, turn 1, I think people are getting on the inside curb or possibly the outside curb by the looks of things. So on the exit, the outside curb doesn't last long, and then there's another access road there. So probably not a good idea to get on that curb. End of the back stretch, as we know, if you miss your braking point, like Grant Gill has just done there as he exited right off screen, there he is, he made the wall. It does cost you, and then, into the carousel, through Thunder Valley into the carousel, because it's over the crest of a hill, turning and braking into that final 2 turns. That's a very tricky one, but as we saw from Callum Watmore, you can make some good passes there, but you can also get caught out if someone turns in on you, right through here.
Indeed you can. And the good exponents of it, like Brenton Hobbs and Michael Hammond, can go through there side by side and not bang panels. We've seen that a few times already. A 22.07 for Brenton Hobson. How about that? He's just put another 10th on John Merritt, who has improved to a 22.6. Yeah, well, that's exactly right. It was a 5/10th gap. It became a 6/10th gap. It became a 7/10th gap, but then Merritt, of course, improved to bring it back to 6/10, but 6/10 is as good as a mile around here. There's no doubt about that. We are only halfway through qualifying. There's a 30-minute session. We've got a 45-minute race following that for you, ladies and gentlemen. All live, all commercial-free Sim Shed broadcasting on a Friday night for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Now, I didn't get a chance to run through the Supercar calendar. Bit different to the stock car calendar, which I also didn't run through. Production cars, stock cars running different calendars. Production cars running the same as supercars this season. So Mid-Ohio, Road America, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, Phillip Island, then Daytona International, the road course. Then we go, and I think that'll be the GT version, not the stock car version. The Detroit Grand Prix circuit in Belle Isle, that'll be next. That'll be round 6. Barber Motorsports Park, Spa-Francorchamps, Road Atlanta, and then Mount Panorama. So a real North American feel to a Friday night throughout the course of the season. And as far as the Stock Car Series is concerned, they'll have the same first 4 rounds, Mid-Ohio, Road America, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, then Phillip Island, but then they break away. They go Mount Panorama, member vote, so a track that's TBA, TBC. Sonoma will be round 7, Watkins Glen, Charlotte Roval, and then Daytona International on the NASCAR version of the Roval there for round 10 to bring the curtain down. And that seemed to work really well last season. A lot of positive feedback for the Daytona Roval, Nick.
Yeah, it was good fun. I don't think there was any bad feedback from it at all. It provided good racing. I think the only bad feedback was the safety car double deployment. So once again, we're going shorter anyway, so there's only going to get deployed once, which brings everybody into play. And it is a bit of a long lap for that, but once we get it over and done with, it should be good the whole way through.
All right, let's update you on how things stand in qualifying here, 18 minutes into the session. Brenton Hobson, John Merritt, Michael Schreier in the pit lane at the moment, Daniel Ackland, then Matty Muscord, Michael Crackner, Michael Angus, Michael Hammond. How's that going for Michael? It's the Michael Club. Sorry, no homers. Dave Trevathan, Jackson Rayhana and Todd Parks make up the top 11 there for you at the moment, and Troy Cox in 12. Magnificent. Brenton Hobson, 122.07. That's the benchmark to beat here. So we've got progressively faster car to car as the night's gone on. We're in the 1 minute 39s, 1 minute 40s with the production cars. Now we're in the 22s with the supercars. Interesting to note, big margins between first and the rest of the field.
Second to fifth there has only got 2 tenths between those 4 cars.
I was just about to say, top 5 separated by less than a second, top 6 by 1 second. Actually, make it 1.01 separating the top 7. That's nice and tight. 1.1 separates the top 8, 9, 10. 1.1 seconds separating the top 10. But from the 22.07 in first to the 26.32, that's 4.25 seconds separating the field. Kester Ward, 29th fastest at this point in time. 32 cars in the service. So not as popular as it might have been, I would have thought, Nick. I thought we would have had maybe 40, 45, but they're all probably saving themselves for the 27th of November when we go racing on the mountain.
Well, there's 2 servers as well. So as the 4 is described to me, this is for the guys who want to go for a championship, take it super duper seriously, and are super duper fast, as you can tell by the times. And the other servers for the more casual races. So the guys from Stone Cold Racing, I think there's a couple in here, but they're some of them are taking it easy and just taking a laid back approach, so to speak, just to enjoy the car and enjoy the track.
For sure. Hey, for the sake of filling some time here while we watch qualifying, the Stock Car Championship points and also the production car points have been sent through to me by Adam Lavis. So I'll nip them in the bud now. Brenton Hobson, 36 leads. Michael Hammond, 28 in the Production Car Series. Daniel Ackland, 25. Jaden Russell, 23. And Troy Cox. And also Jonathan Turner on 21. So too Josh Thomas. 3-way tie for 5th. Simon Francis, 19. Chris Budd and Grant Gill make up the top 10 on 17 apiece. In the stock cars, interesting story here. 34 for Trent Lavis, 31 for Michael Schreier. Ford getting up on a Friday night. How good's that? And then 24 for Michael Cracknell, 23 for Adam Lavis, and 22 for Jackson Rayhana. 21 apiece for Brad Clank and Castor Ward, 20 for Cal Watmore. Geez, he'll be bitterly disappointed that he didn't take more of an advantage of Glenn Postlethwaite's absence there tonight, because once he got caught in the thick of it, he was stuck there for the rest of the night. Bevan Moyes 19th and Julia Mucky on 16 points. Sorry, Bevan Moyes 19 points in 9th, not 19th, fair dinkum. And Julian Mucky on 16 points, making up the top 10 there. After round 1 of the Stock Car Series, very efficient work from Adam Lavis there. And of course, well done again, mate. Nicely directed broadcast in the wee small hours on Thursday morning. We're looking forward to going live, however, next Wednesday night from Okayama.
Live with fresh graphics that should have worked on Wednesday, but technical issue. Yeah, we'll be up and running.
First week back, we're all having issues.
We'll be live and
are we ever? And some are verbal, some are visual, some are technical. Yeah, it's an interesting week. There's no doubt about that. I think we'll all be firing on all cylinders next week. No doubt about that.
It's trying to make things as good as possible in the just catch up when you're in the first round.
Exactly right. Now,
I apologise ahead of schedule. The thunderstorms just rolled in above my house, so if I drop, I apologise.
If you drop, it'll be because of a blackout. Yes.
Yeah, I apologise.
And
just cracked then, it actually scared me. So, there's thunder.
See, this is the thing. I've been mounting the argument with my old man for years. Dad, can I buy a generator? Dad, can I buy a generator? What for? You don't need one. Mate, I don't want to sit through a blackout when I can be watching sport on TV. And he said, no, you don't run a generator or a television, fair dinkum. So, unless it's like on a camp weekend and it's, an old bush bashing television, not the new ones. They won't handle it. So, very interesting stuff. Oh, dear. We've got a lot to look forward to. Don't forget to come and join me on West Bremer Radio tomorrow as well, folks. All the action from local sport with the weekend sports switch between 9 and 10 a.m. and then the Saturday morning sports clubhouse between 10 and 12. I might even duck out to a racetrack in Willowbank after that, because the Ipswich Kart Club chock-a-block full this weekend. They're getting ready for the Ipswich for the Queensland Karting Championships next weekend. Ipswich, Kalula Coast and Warwick hosting that event. There's a shakedown at the Ipswich Kart Club this weekend. 250 entries for the state championships, 240 of them there this weekend. And QR's got something on as well, so looking forward to that. Plenty to look forward to as far as Southeast Queensland Motorsport is concerned. And next weekend, you'll be able to hear all the Queensland Karting Championship action on West Bremer Sport. And I'll post more details about that around the place next week. That will be why I'll be missing in action for a little bit next Friday night, but looking forward to it immensely. It'll actually be as good as it is from a commentary standpoint, commentating iRacing, because you can soak in the atmosphere of the sound effects and everything else. Nothing beats the smell and the adrenaline rush you get from being there. So I'm looking forward to being trackside next week. It'll be good fun. I know you're going out to QR tomorrow afternoon, Nick.
Yeah, I've got to do some spanner work. Hopefully no spanner work, but I'm going to be there with Sam Collins tomorrow. So we'll see how the Sam Collins Motorsport Bailey Ladders LS13 goes.
Indeed we will. Trent Lavis, your next big assignment will be pit crew work at the Willowbank 300, yeah?
That's right, mate. I'll be crewing for the Ski Control boys, and they did a bit of testing today, which was quite successful. So really looking forward to the challenge, going up against all the QPC legends and some super fast cars. So it should be a lot of fun.
You're not racing?
No, he's not defending his title.
Oh,
no,
I think after tonight's showing, you should go show that to Mr. Cothill and say, hey, I think I should be racing.
Mr. Cothill. I was actually supposed to be scheduled to go down to Bathurst this year to spectate and get my bogan on, but unfortunately I got an email earlier last week where they cancelled the camping for the entire event. So that's not going to go on as scheduled. So even though they moved the weekend a week later, but plans already set in place for a good mate of ours, Hudson, to take the wheel and take the reins and hopefully see the cars across the finish line first.
Yeah, looking forward to everyone sharing their stories from the Willowbank 300, and of course, probably many people sitting on couches and on eskies in living rooms and patios around Australia, and verandas and pergolas as well the week after for the 1000. The Club 1000, of course, was run last weekend, and we congratulate everyone that was involved in that. It was a stellar success. Now, you might be wondering why we're sitting here rattling on about other things. It's because our post-race show is going to be short tonight. A, Nick's not going to be here, and B, we've all got early starts. The fact of the matter is that we normally wouldn't be broadcasting this much of the qualifying session for you folks, but because of that overlap with the stock car starting earlier than it probably should have, we're therefore showing more of the qualifying session than we'd had anticipated with the supercars. But it's nice to visualise and see what's going on out there. Interesting to get a Toyota on a Mustang. Or is that on a Commodore? I'm just having a look there. That's an interesting get-up. Toyota logos on a Commodore. Fantastic. Very good stuff. Oh dear. Hey, Trent, if you were to pick a driver that isn't Brenton Hobson, who do you like the chances of here tonight, mate?
After battling him for 32 laps straight in the stock cars, I reckon Michael Schreier's got his eye in nicely. So I think he's one lap pacey, probably not quite as hot as old Hobbo, but I think over a race distance, I reckon he'll give him a bit of run for his money with some strategy involved.
We'll wait and see how it all plays out.
Michael Schreier, that is.
Yes. So Michael Schreier is third on the grid at this point in time, the way things stand. Brenton Hobson provisional pole. 2.25 minutes left in qualifying. Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. Oh, spinner halfway down the back straight. You're kidding me. There are some trouble points on this circuit, but it's a great place to go racing. The undulation is a great talking point. You'll see plenty of that throughout the course of the night. Here comes a replay. The 13, John Merritt, just pushing a little bit too hard.
Try to make that gap up to Hobbo at the front.
Whooshka. Round he goes into the wall. Bang. And it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Like, there are no slouches in here, Trent. But as we've spoken about when we watched Michael and Brenton go side by side of the Mazdas, there's a standard or a level that they're at that everyone's aspiring to get to. I mean, they're just a class above.
Yeah, that's right. These guys have spent a lot of time behind the wheel of the sim, and and very, very talented drivers in their own right. And it obviously shows tonight with their pace.
South Sydney putting a clinic on against the Sydney Roosters for NRL fans out there. Only about 8 minutes to go in the match, and South's leading that one 46-8. I don't think the Roosters are coming back from there. They're having a shocker, which is good. Spoken as a Melbourne supporter who doesn't think his team will win the premiership despite the fact that they're looking good in second place at the moment. But anyway, who are you in? Do you watch much of the footy, Trent, or are you strictly a motorsport person?
I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, to be honest with you, but if I had to pick a team, it'd definitely be the Bunnings, that's for sure.
Oh, well, they're going all right for you tonight. There's no doubt about that. I must admit, looking forward to the AFL finals. My team's out. Sydney, less said about them, the better. There's a good vibe about the AFL finals this year, with the grand final being played up here in Queensland, of course. And should also point out the international rugby starts up very shortly, of course, on the back of Super Rugby AU completing last week. We've got women's international cricket starting up tomorrow at Allan Border Field here in Brisbane. The Aussie girls against the Kiwis. So we wish the girls the best of luck there. You'll see it on Channel 7 and 7 Sport. As we get to the end of this qualifying session, the checkered flag is out. Drivers completing their last flying laps now. Look at that for a picturesque view. A 1:22.1. So he was, I'll tell you what, he was 600ths of a second away from his PB on that last lap, Brenton Hobson. Real scintillating pace from him.
Awesome
isn't it? Consistency wins out over everything. There's no doubt about that. So Hobson, Merritt, Schreier, Ackland, Mascord, and Mikey Hammond make up the top 6. Michael Angus, Jackson Rayhana, Michael Cracknell, and Dave Trevathan make up the top 10. Rayhana will be happy with 8 after starting rather slow in this session. So he'll be happy that he's fought back to 8th position there. Really looking forward to this race. First race of the new series. 10 weeks for the Stone Cold Supercars. There's the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Let's have a look at the race stats for you. Of course, this circuit, 3.6 Lexington, Ohio in the USA. 50% fuel capacity on these cars. So whether that means they'll need a pit stop or not, I'm not sure. 25th of September. 6:16 in the evening as we bring you this. That's the sim time. So it's a little bit into the future American time because it's only about 7 a.m. or 7:48 a.m. in Ohio at the moment. The race will be 45 minutes in length. The wind's going to the south, partly cloudy, 25 degrees, track 26 degrees at this point in time. And the pace car speed will be 88 kilometres an hour. If it's needed, pit lane speed, 72 kilometres. Incident count penalties, 15x, and then every 5 after that, fast repair limit of 1. So there you go. Looking forward to what should be a cracker of a race here. And as I say, Mid-Ohio is just showcasing exactly why late sunsets are king in the middle of summer, and Queenslanders don't know what they're missing out on. Have a look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's the middle of autumn over there at the moment, but still daylight saving. Get around it. Looking forward to this race. Let's have a look at the qualifying results for you as the cars start to line up on the grid here, ladies and gentlemen. It is Brenton Hobson and John Merritt sharing the front row. It's Daniel Ackland. And then also Michael Schreier on the second row. And the field extends right around past the pit entry there in turn 12. Matty Mascort and Michael Hammond, third row. Michael Engels and Jackson Rayhana, fourth row. Michael Cracknell and Dave Trevathan, the fifth row. Then we go back to Troy Cox and Todd Parks on the sixth row. David Kirby and Tim Harris, the seventh row. As we turn the screen over there. Eighth row is Matthew Cowie and Matt O'Grady. Ninth row, Josh Fowler and Julia Muckey. Then the 10th row, Simon Francis and Dan Siciliano. Then we go back to Warwick Sharp and Grant Gill on the 11th row. The 12th row is Jason Dunn and James Broadman. The 13th, Boardman, I should say. The 13th row is Aidan Rice and Josh Thomas. The 14th row, Brett Selby Wood and Curtis Williams. The 15th row, Anthony Cuthbertson and Kester Ward. Chris Stark and James Wood make up the field, but they did not set a qualifying time here. So 30 starters on the grid for this one. Should we all get underway. Standing start, which is something we like in our homegrown Aussie V8 series. And the Stone Cold series is about to get underway. As I say, standing start, something a little bit different compared to the stock cars and also the Porsches from the other night. But we're getting set to rumble. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Lexington, Ohio. Let's see if everybody can get through the trouble points 1, 2, and 3 cleanly, and particularly 4 as well. Will they trigger a safety car? Will there be fuel stops? Who's going to be the man to beat here? You'd say Brenton Hobson. Green away! Even start. Look at that from the second row. What a start from Daniel Ackland getting up there in the middle. And around the outside, but he's not close enough to get by Brenton Hobson just yet. But they go 1, 2 to turn 1. We ride on board with Ackland all over the back of Hobson on the run to 2. Everybody's safely away here. V8 racing on a Friday night. Through turn 2, the run down the back straight, past the IndyCar start line. So the big brake zone at turn 3, or 4 I should say. What a start from Brenton Hobson. John Merritt, yeah, absolutely. Shocker of a start for him. Now they make their way through for the first time. Did everybody get through cleanly? We'll have a look for you. We do believe so. Everyone getting through turn 4 cleanly. Testament to the high driving standards being set here early in this series. Dave Trevathan, the only one to kiss the grass in the early stages. Through they come, first lap. Brenton Hobson leads Daniel Ackland, 3 car lengths the margin. John Merritt slipping all the way down to position number 6. They come back to the main straight for the first time. Michael Angus, a good mover there in the early stages, up into P5. And Merritt dropped to 7th, my apologies, not 6th. Hobson, Ackland, Mascord, Van Hammer, Angus, Cracknell, Merritt, Parks, Rayhana and Harris the top 10. So poor start Jackson Rayhana, slipped back to 9th. Good start Tim Harris, up to 10th from 14th on the grid. Some big movers further down the order. Dan Siciliano from 20th up to 14th. And then also, where are we? Todd Parks from 12th to 8th, so he gained a few spots early as well.
Looks like Michael Schreier had some mischief at the start there. He's back in 30th at the moment.
Indeed, and we've got trouble there in the gravel trap at turn 4. Michael Angus in the dirt. You'll see that on replay shortly. The first bit of trouble on the second lap. So we got through lap 1 cleanly. Interested to see what race control has to say about any incidents that unfold here tonight. Whether or not, here it is. Merritt, bang. Oh, wow. John Merritt trying to fight his way back through the field. Michael Angus gets sent. And Tim Harris is off the track as well. Just while we watch this replay from the onboard shot of Michael Angus.
I think race control have a close look at that one.
I think race control are going to have their work cut out for them. They'll be here till midnight. So, early observations from you, Trent, as someone that races a lot of different things in terms of iRacing. You don't race. You're not racing in the supercars here. But what are your initial thoughts on what you're seeing here so far?
Yeah, cracking start by the top 5 or 6 guys at the front there. Bit of a shame there was a bit of an incident just then, but hopefully the rest of the race they'll tuck in and put on some action for us.
So obviously your focus on a Friday night has been the stock cars. Any desire to get in and have a steer of the supercars at some point later in the season?
Yeah, I'd love to have a go in the stock cars. Oh, sorry, the supercars later in the season. I actually have done hardly any driving of these cars in iRacing since I started. Heaven forbid, I know it's an Australian or non-Australian thing to do. I think all the Aussies like to jump in the V8s and to have a crack, especially around Bathurst. But I've done very minimal driving of these cars on the sim, so I'm keen to jump in and drive anything, as you know, and see how I go.
That's it. And it's such a different discipline as well. As Nick said before, and he's yet to rejoin us in the booth too, folks. We're waiting for him. I think he's waiting out a storm there in Brizzy at the moment. It's such a different car to drive. So to jump out of a stock car into a supercar, as say Jackson Rayhana has done, Brenton Hobson would normally do had it not been for the early start tonight. Such a difficult discipline as we see John Merritt in the pit lane.
Yeah, that's right. They're very tricky cars to drive. They've got a lot of power. They haven't got a lot of grip. They've got a little bit of aero compared to something like the stock cars, but they're definitely not like a GT car, that's for sure.
No, they certainly are not. I mean, when you look at the stock car, when you look at the GT car, when you look at the Indy car that you had success in as well, do you have a particular favourite? And is there a particular reason why you're steering clear of the supercars on a regular basis, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it's just no beckoning opportunity more than anything else. Not that I don't like driving them. It's just I've never really jumped in and had a crack. You know what I mean? It is a super competitive class to have a go at on iRacing. So I'm definitely keen to get in there and see how I stack up against all the top guys.
And given how different it is to drive a stock car to then turn around and drive a supercar, are you're more focused on maintaining that consistency in the stock car, focusing on one championship rather than trying to multitask and bring yourself undone?
I think I just really do enjoy driving those stock cars. I actually test my ability of driving well in the sim and all the other cars due to driving the stock car and racing in this series. Especially the GT cars. Jump out of the stock car into a GT car, you can do things that you wouldn't have done without that experience. So I definitely recommend anyone out there that hasn't driven the old Xfinity cars on a road course before to definitely get in there, jump in, have a crack. Bear with it. It's very, very, very difficult. Bear with it and get into some races and be patient, and it really will give you a reward at the end.
Indeed. Brenton Hobson, Daniel Ackland, Matty Muscord, Michael Hammond and Michael Cracknell, the top five at this point in time. You're following Matt O'Grady there. He's running down in position number 11, just behind Julian Muckey, who's coming through your picture now. So O'Grady's boxed in there. He's got Julian Muckey in front of him. He's got David Kirby behind him and Dan Siciliano as well. And Muckey was wide coming out of that turn. So that's going to allow O'Grady an opportunity potential. One that he's not able to take because Muckey shuts the gate. And again, limited overtaking opportunities make... Oh, have a look at that. Speaking of limited overtaking opportunities, my goodness, O'Grady left the door wide open there and got past as a result. David Kirby up around the outside, job done. Kirby up into 11th and O'Grady back to 12th. I was just about to say, Trent Lavis, when you look at your overtaking opportunities around here, they are limited, so you've got to make the most of them, capitalising on them and pulling them off. Well, setting them up's one thing, pulling them off, capitalising on them quite another, and it's the difference between success and failure at this course.
Yeah, that's right. I think the bolder strategy would be to try and save a little bit of tyre through the stint and make it a late attempt attack and get a really good run out of either turn 2 or most certainly out of the run onto the main straight or turn 1, just to get that passing opportunity done. That's really the only couple of the spots into turn 4 and turn 2 are the main areas where you can actually overtake on this track. Everywhere else is line of stern.
Indeed it is. So, Simon Francis, you're watching him now. Yeah, well, we had a Toyota Holden, we've got a Nissan Mustang, we've got... mate, I love the creativity of these boys, and you know yourself, there's a lot of effort that goes on behind the scenes. It's not just preparing to drive these cars, but it's also preparing the presentation of them. You guys put a lot of effort in both on and off the track, and everyone should be commended on that because the end product looks very, very professional, very smick, very swish.
Oh, me personally, I'm absolutely hopeless with Photoshop and being creative. I'm an engineer by trade, so I'm good at rectangles and square boxes. But luckily, I've got Kester Ward, who actually joins us in the commentary booth while he's racing out there at the moment to do my liveries for me. He does a fantastic job.
And also, and you've also got Adam Lavis, who's pretty savvy on the tech front as well. He did some clever stuff with Photoshop the other night that you'll see on Wednesday night too, ladies and gentlemen. So we were up to the wee small hours having a chat about Photoshop and a few different things and on-screen graphics. Looking forward to, of course, improving the product of the broadcast here. And JP, of course, doing a great job in the Sim Shed broadcasting booth for us at the moment as well. I'm actually really surprised with Kester, because I would think that the last place you'd want to be is the commentary box, me going at 10 cents in your ear, but good on you, Kester. Glad you're enjoying the broadcast whilst you're also out there racing. Sitting down there in position number 20 at the moment, flying the skid control flag. Onto the main straight, here's Michael Hammond.
Kester's up 10 spots so far from the start, so he's doing really well, doing his usual burn from the stern and keeping it clean.
He's muscled along nicely so far. What's also interesting is we've gone 8 laps. This is lap 8. No safety car as yet. Everyone keeping it fairly clean out there, which is, again, testament to the club mantra. It's the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We talk a big game. We race hard. Robbins Racing does a little bit of paddle scrubbing here and there, but the general consensus is we keep it clean.
Yeah, that's right, and it's good, fair, and hard racing is what it's all about, and no silly business. And I think the Gentleman Racing Club has put on a clinic in regards to how to race and how to be gentlemanly and have a lot of fun at the end of the day.
Indeed. Although that being said, racing incidents still happen. We're not trying to eradicate racing incidents altogether, folks. They're part of the show. They're part of the reason people watch, because the big pile-ups do attract a lot of traffic. Take Spa, for instance, a few weeks ago. But also, unfortunately, Trent, an incident was the downfall of your race on Monday night. Talk us through what happened there, if you don't mind.
Oh, that was actually a combination of things leading up to that point that made me do the old sim racing rage quit after the first corner of the first lap there. But I had a bit of a tough time in qualifying, dealing with traffic and people just parking themselves in front of me, and then deciding to pull into the pits when I was about 8 tenths up on my fastest lap. So I was throwing the controller at the screen and threw the toys out of the cot, and then after a little spin in turn 1, that was the end of it.
We've all done that, and of course, it was just unfortunate that you had some steering damage on the car. I watched the replay and just saw you trying to muscle the car around, and then it just sent you left, so into the wall, unfortunately. But it happens, and I did speak to Adam about it post-race, and he showed me the replay on Wednesday night. I said, I'm sensing that why we saw Trent quit so early. I sensed there was a F this, I'm out, and apparently it was F it, I'm out was what you said. So I was very close to the mark. I somewhat know you well for some reason.
It was relatively PG in relation to what I was saying earlier on in the piece, so it was quite composed, if you ask me. It was, I thought I handled it quite well.
I loved it, if I'm honest with you. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you want to watch these guys in action on a Monday night in the GT series, get onto their Twitch page, Adam Lavis's Maverick Twitch page, folks. You won't be disappointed. It is not for kids. I stress that off the top. Not for kids, but everyone knows. See, this is the thing. We love cricket because you watch the players out there on the pitch and you occasionally can lip read and see what they're saying. You don't get that with motor racing until you go sim racing and you get everyone plugged in via Discord. It's a real world fun experience, ladies and gentlemen. Think a cross between Neil Crompton and Kevin Bloody Wilson. It's fantastic. Now, lap 10 here.
Or Billy Connolly and Eddie Murphy and Delirious. I think it's probably more our channel's level of commitment in regards to the F's and C's and the B's and all that sort of stuff. So
exactly.
So watchers beware. It might be a little bit colourful.
Yes, not for the faint-hearted. There's no doubt about that. Oh, spinner here, trouble! Michael Cracknell. Geez, he did well to save that. I thought he was going for all money. He's sitting down there in position number 5 at the moment, chasing Michael Hammond. He's just cost himself half a second. But I tell you what, Trent, that was the save of the night. He was going for all money there.
Geez, he's very lucky to keep that one off the fence.
Wow, that was commitment plus. And that's the thing too. Like, combating that oversteer and knowing how to steer the car and handle it in a situation like that. It's the only reason he didn't end up in the fence then. He was able to get it back right instead of being speared left. Really good piece of driving. Hobson leads Ackland second. Matty Muscord is third. You can see the scrolling leaderboard running across the top of your screen there. I believe the phantom known as Nico Pop is back with us in the commentary box. I didn't see them yet come off your microphone there, mate.
Yeah, look, when thunder happens, animals go missing, so you have to go find them.
Oh, okay. Yep.
We're just catching the back end of the storm. I don't know if you'll get it soon enough, Zach, but yeah.
Well, I've got my fingers crossed that I don't get it until at least 12 o'clock. Until actually, I'll recorrect that. Until the story so far on Sky F1 is finished, then the storm can happen, because the first thing to go when the storm arrives is the Foxtel. So
we could use
that's all I want. I just want to watch the story so far, and then we're good. Sorry, Kester?
We could use a storm out here on track. That sun's in a bad position down the main straight.
Mate, give us a little bit of an update if you don't mind. You started 30th, you're up to 20th, you're just plodding along nicely. The next target is Simon Francis, who's just run up. Actually, you've just run up the racetrack. You've just run up the racetrack. I've just put the marker on you. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right, mate. The first time I drove these things was actually when I did the qualifying for this, so a bit like Trent. And they're a bit fun.
Right, yeah, Trent, here's a replay of him heading off the circuit at turn 4, which is the trouble point of the circuit. Talk us through it.
Looks like he's just bloody broken. How many car lengths deep were you there, Kest? About 5 or 6, or?
Yeah, I'd say about six too far.
Oh dear.
Well, you can break a bit later in these than the NASCARs, but I'm trying to figure out how much further deeper I can.
Maybe you thought you were still driving the stock car.
Feet of gears.
GT car, maybe I would have stopped it then.
All right. Nick, your observations of what you've seen. I know it's not much, but Brenton Hobson's in a league of his own here. We haven't seen much of him on screen tonight. 5.5 seconds clear of Daniel Ackland, who's having a great run. Matty Muscord, Michael Hammond, always there at the pointy end, and Michael Cracknell. We've got Dave Trevathan here on screen at the moment, who's sitting nicely in the top 10, but under pressure from John Merritt, who's trying to fight his way back through. Will we see pit stops here? What's set to play out over the next 35 minutes or so?
I just noticed that John Merritt just must have gone to the pits or had an incident. He's dropped down the field down to 11th, so I'm guessing he might have slotted into the pits to the early stop, and he's sitting behind Dave, Mr. T, Trevathan at the moment, and getting held up, I think, at the moment. But hopefully his strategy plays out at the end of the race.
You just saw Warwick Sharp there in the pit lane as well, folks. Interesting to note that. Michael Angus under pressure there. Oh boy, who was he alongside? I'm just trying to have a look here. He's down the order. That was either Siciliano or Boardman. Wow. Really good, nice fight there between Michael Angus and Siciliano it was. He's got by Siciliano, so up into 15th. That's the battle you're watching at the moment. Nick, I can hear that rumbling of thunder behind you there at your end. Okay, fair enough. It is that time of night. I get it. Brenton Hobson leading this. So just coming back to you, because Trent jumped in there to talk about the Trevathan battle.
All good.
Brenton Hobson in a league of his own. We've got Merritt on our screen here doing nice things. In position number 10, he's just got round Trevathan, so that's for 10. So he's now in the 10, Trevathan out. What's interesting here, Nick, is we're not quite half race distance, not 18 minutes 3 seconds, so 27 minutes to go. In fact, if there's a way that we can put the countdown clock on the screen there, that might actually be better for the benefit of the broadcast, but for the viewers, I mean, not for us. But the other thing I was going to say, Nick, we've got a couple of things to play out here. It's only 50% tanked, so potential for pit stops. But at the moment, Horo's in a league of his own. It's hard to see him losing it, unfortunately, for everyone else in the paddock.
Well, if the MX-5 is Mikey Hammond's favourite car, I think, and I'm pretty safe to say that the V8 is Hobson's favourite car, and it's showing now. So, look, what is it? 50% tanks. What's that? 111 litres. So about what? 55 litre tank. I'm not sure the fuel burn, but I'm going to say they're probably going to have to top it up at some point. The good thing about these cars is you can do tyres and fuel at the same time. And we'll see. I mean, I think Hobson's... We know there's not going to be a safety car unless it's completely and utterly needed. So I think Hobson's just trying to slowly work a gap out that he can safely pit and drop back into. I'm looking on the track map here, probably back behind 7th there, and just get in front of that gaggle of cars. So that'll be what I'd be looking for right now, as Hobson is in pit lane right now. There he is. He's pulling up to his stop. So yeah, he must be listening to me.
Must be indeed. Yes, absolutely. And by the look of it, the storm you're talking about as well, my friend, that's hitting Brisbane at the moment is going to miss Ipswich. It's all going to the east of us. So that's a good sign for me, anyway.
Just noticed an incident there between Michael Cracknell and Hammer Time then, so I don't know if we get a replay of that, but that was a bit hairy going over the back section through the S's.
The two Michaels fighting over the same piece of real estate. And that's the thing too. As I said to Trent Nick, limited overtaking opportunities, and that makes it difficult when, in the instance of Cracknell and Hammer Time, you're fighting over the same piece of real estate. You will see a bit of that 2x2 running occur because whoever's trying to make the move is going to try and make it stick. And sometimes, as we saw Hobbo and Hammer perfectly illustrated a couple of hours ago, it can take a few corners to sort out.
Yes, I believe in these things. They just do that little bit more horsepower, a little bit more grip. You can get it sorted in a few less corners, but it's still spectacular. It's still great to watch.
Indeed it is. We are lap 16. Yes, Trent?
Nico, do you have any idea what the tyre deg is like in these cars?
Not as bad as a NASCAR. I have no idea, sorry. No, they
actually go on rubber, not marshmallows.
So I'm down about
a
lap, if that counts for anything.
Yeah, they don't fall away as much as the NASCAR. You still do have to kind of look after them a little bit, but like, you know, with the Bathurst race that we did the other week, I think I dropped 2 to 3 seconds a lap over the course of the full tank. So these guys having half a tank, it shouldn't affect them too much, but once again, it is mid-Ohio, so it does put a premium on tyres. So I've got a feeling, oh no, everybody's starting to pit now. I was going to say, I've got a feeling because Hobson was the first one in, he might be doing a couple short sprints. Yeah.
Just had word on the radio that incident between Hammer Time and the other Michael has just a racing incident. So
okay. Just having a look here too. Brett Selby-Wood, Wayne Taylor, also Michael Schreier. Michael Schreier had some internet issues, it's important to note, so that's why you haven't seen him at the pointy end of town, because he's dropped out completely. And so too has James Wood. So Brett Selby-Wood, Chris Stark, James Wood and Michael Schreier all out of the race, and I believe Warwick Sharp will soon join them. He's 7 laps down. But it hasn't come up on the server yet that he's disconnected. So the ping is high for a couple tonight, and that could be caused by the storm activity in and around the area. So the 17th lap of this 45-minute race. The race time last time by the line for Matty Mascord, who's now the race leader, was 22 minutes and 23 seconds. So we are virtually halfway there, as Bon Jovi would say. And we will pick up Matty Mascord on your screen now, bringing the field back around to complete another lap.
But he's not living on a prayer.
No, he's not. He's living on hope and will at the moment, because he's got to hope that something goes drastically wrong for Brenton Hobson while he's in the pit lane, or while he's trying to get his way back through to the front of the field. Yeah. and likewise, Matty Mascord would be hoping for a miracle run through the pit lane. But yeah, this is Brenton Hobson's race to lose. Make no mistake about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he's in.
So there's another one for you.
Another one in.
So quite a bit of activity going on in pit lane. Have we got a pit lane camera set up there? Just to have a look at who's in the lane. We've got Matty Mascord, Michael Cracknell in
Another
at the moment.
They're all coming in.
Here they are. So Michael Cracknell, Matty Mascord, 1 and 2 on the pit road there. David Kirby now joining them. Pit lane, a flurry of activity right now. Brenton Hobson Reed takes the lead too, by the way, gentlemen.
Go Trent, sorry. My Mascord's out. 18.9 stationary, 40 seconds in the pit lane. That's what I worked it out to be for the NASCARs. Geez, there you go. 4 seconds just on pit lane touring as well. So that they can drop you plenty of spots.
Looks like Hopper's got the whole length of the back straight ahead of him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trent, we've seen how many races won and lost on pit road. I mean, just this week we saw Glenn Postlethwaite lose the lead to Jeff Connell in the Porsche GT3 Cup race that we had on Wednesday night for Racecraft. And that was the difference in the end, because Glenn ended up spinning at turn 1 in pursuit of Jeff to try and get back to the front.
Yeah, that's right. It's very, very easy to make a small mistake in pit lane, especially if you've got a gaggle of cars all coming in at once. It makes it quite tricky to sight your pit box, and it's very, very easy to make a mistake, which can cost you seconds on the track. Given
the nature of Porsche racing, actually, before we get back to what's happening here, that was Kirby having a look on the inside, couldn't quite get the job done. That's Trevor Than ahead of him, and then John Merritt. So a three-way fight here for 9th on the racetrack. Nick, it was interesting from my standpoint. Porsche GT3 racing, we normally see standing starts here in Australia. We had a rolling start on Wednesday night, and it was a very messy opening lap.
Yeah, look, that's down to whoever. That's down to
Sorry,
whoever's
Nick, I saw a car.
Yeah, look, I'm always up for a mixture of different style of starts as we watch our replay here.
Yep, there was a spinner. You'll see it here in a moment, folks. We've got Jason Dunn going to turn 1. A little bit too hot. Off the road. There was another spinner around the track somewhere, but we'll pick that up at a later point in time. That's what I was getting up and about. But the Dunn incident, that was nice to see as well. Stone Cold Racing, of course, presenting not only the replays in our series this year, but also proud sponsors of the V8 Supercar Series on a Friday night for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club on SimShed Broadcasting. Go, Nick.
Oh, I was just going to say, lost my thought. All good.
Sorry about that.
No, all good. We have to call. We see
Michael
on screen, and
Hammond.
there's some plenty of stuff happening.
Michael Hammond sitting 5th at the moment. 4th now. Michael Hammond. So, Michael Cracknell's ahead of him. Then Matty Mascord, then Brenton Hobson. Hammond has been perennially 4th all night, if you don't mind. He's not been able to get out of that area. He's just not been able to go with Cracknell, Mascord and Hobson. Hobson's looking good at the moment. Looking very good. With about 8 seconds up his sleeve.
It was David...
Kirby or Trevor Than?
Okay, Kirby, sorry, mate. I just popped
All right, mate.
David Kirby was the one that had that slide you seen earlier on, mate, and he's rejoined back in 10th place. Just a little bit of an update on Michael Schreier, who was at the pointy end of the field in qualifying. I just got a message there from him on Facebook saying that his internet dropped out on him. So that's why he's left the field, unfortunately.
Bugger.
And that's the thing too, isn't it, Nick? We often talk about the 50-cent pieces. Normally, blackouts, power failures, internet problems, they're also an absolute pain in the backside in this instance, and that's exactly what's hit Michael Schreier tonight. I don't know which one, but obviously a lot of internet activity in his area has led him to drop out.
Yeah, it sucks.
There'd be a few friends around your area worried about the blackout potential with the storm as well.
Yeah, look, it was really weird. We only caught the tail end of it. It just happened to be above us. But anyway, as a general rule,
we've got a spinner on the main straight.
Oh, trouble on the main straight. Yep. Well played, Trent. Picked that up beautifully. That's Grant Gill coming out of the pit lane. I don't know what's happened there on the pit straight, but we've had a we'll get another one. 2 in the wall. So 1 at turn 1, 1 at turn 13. Here's the replay on the main straight. It was Matthew Cowie. And watch this. He'll just lose the back end through turn 13. Bang. Gone. In the wall. Pulled the brake on though. Stayed to the inside. Did well. Kept out of trouble. Well played. Here's the other one. We'll see a replay of. So this was Aidan Rice. Carrying round turn 1. Just carrying too much throttle.
Oh, too much curb as well.
And catching the curb. Did well to get it. Corrected the first time, lost it the second time. Smack bang into the wall.
These guys need to do stock cars, I think.
I was just about to say the same thing.
They don't hurt as much when it's the simulator, but the damage I mean, it hurts just as much. And unfortunately, there are a couple of guys either looking at a fast repair or a long stay in the pit lane. Josh Thomas is disconnected. Daniel Ackland is manually disconnected as well. Interesting to note. Ackland was running well for a long while there, but he has slipped off out of the race. Wayne Taylor also out of the race. So we've lost quite a few from our 32 that started the night.
It's starting to become obvious some of these drivers are getting tired. And as you get tired, your inputs become more abrupt and they're losing their cars. So that's why I keep referring back to the stock cars. You have to be smooth all the time.
Correct. And Nick, that
looks like Daniel's had a huge moment through turn 1 and damaged his car, which forced an exit. So that's what's happened there. So
another one at turn 1. Turn 1's been a trouble point for the supercars tonight. Nick, the other point too, when you look at the time, we're 10:20 on a Friday night. A lot of these guys have spent all day at work, no doubt. They're feeling a little bit tired, a little bit run down. Then trying to get in and focus at 10:10 in a sim, it can't be easy. Here's what happened to Jason Dunn. Yeah.
See,
you and your spicy colour, I love it.
Too abrupt on your inputs, and then away you go, and Kester takes another spot.
Bang. Yeah, he's moving along nicely. Actually, I don't know how I survived the night with your spicy collar there, Trent, but I do like it. You know that. It's a top drop. There's no doubt. Dave Trevathan on your screen here now. He's sitting 10th.
It certainly quieted you down a little bit on the Sunday, mate.
Yeah, for the first part. We were okay after that. I to be perfectly honest, never felt so inebriated in my life and never woke up so feeling less hungover in all my life. The old spicy cola from the Lavers clan. Your old man's a genius. There's no doubt about that. Brenton Hobson, Matty Muscord, Michael Cracknell, the top 3 here. Brenton Hobson's lead now, Nick. North of 15 seconds. He's in a league of his own.
Yeah. Unless we get
zero mistakes, just clean as a whistle. Away from
that's it. What can Trevathan do here on John Merritt? Let's see what he can do here as they come around onto the main straight. Can he go with him? No wonder Kester's complaining about the sun on the main straight. Have a look at the shine on the bonnet there of Trevathan. It's in a bad spot. Sim time says it's nearly 7 o'clock. We're getting 14 minutes left in this race. So it's going to be 10 past 7 track time when this finishes on a beautiful autumn evening in Lexington, Ohio, and cop that, Queensland. Normally, if you're in the southeast, it's pitch black by this time in summer. But as they make their way down the back straight, I'm going to get as many pot shots in as I can. Nick, don't worry about that.
I was just going to say,
Dave Trevathan. Yes, mate.
The broadcast keeps getting better and better. Now we got little telemetry here. Got gears and speed and RPM. So we've got all the little trinkets here happening at JP Sim Shed. This is awesome. This
is fantastic stuff, and well done to JP for getting all that sorted for us. And again, we're working with 2 different broadcasters because Adam Lavis is directing and producing Wednesday nights for us, but we're working to make them look and feel and sound exactly the same. And that's why I'm here on a Wednesday night as well. So, and that's what it's all about. That semblance of continuity for you, ladies and gentlemen. And we hope you enjoy what we're producing, and it's getting better and better as the year goes on. Rob laid the foundations. Now JP and Adam get to take over and steer us into the future months and years of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. And I think, Nick, it's fair to say the one thing that we will keep from 2020 is sim racing. Once we get rid of the COVID, sim racing has well and truly made its mark this year. This is the year where it really rose to an all new level of prominence. And we'll take this forward, and sim racing clubs right around the country, right around the world, will be the big beneficiaries in the next decade, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I guess even greater than sim racing is internet companies, because we've all had to communicate from afar. So,
that's right.
I guess the good one, I always look at positives, and I guess the positive to come out of COVID is we've had to learn how to communicate differently and work differently. And the internet's a big part of that.
Yep,
so
100%.
Yes, iRacing have got a lot of new memberships, but you know what? It's probably the most realistic. They laser scan everything. It's only going to get better because I know I started back in the day on a computer just using keypad on a simulator there. So it's only going to get better and better.
Exactly right. We've got a lot to look forward to here. Sistolano, we're on board with him now. And he's sitting down there in 13th position following Michael Angus. So we haven't got too many battles around the circuit. There's a battle between Hammer and Rayhana for 4th and 5th. That's half a second apart. That's important to note. We've got a battle there between Cox and Merritt for 7th and 8th. Between Kirby and Trevathan for 9th and 10th. Between Angus and Sistolano for 12th and 13th.
Well,
They're the battles we're keeping our eyes on! And Sistolano's in the wall! And then in the sand as well! Kept the boot into it, but lost too much time!
I think
What about that? They'll have too much damage as well. That was a big hit there on the inside. And to go through the gravel on the outside.
So you got the curb. You got that curb and he was on the throttle pretty hard.
Oh, indeed he was, trying to stay with Trevathan.
There's certainly damage on that front left.
Yeah.
Wow, what a hit. What commitment to keep the boot into it though. You've taken a hit there on the inside, bounced across the outside, foot to the floor through the gravel trap and keep going, son. Magnificent commitment. Less than 10 minutes to go. This man in complete control here. The lead is 16.7.
He's super smooth, hasn't locked the wheel, hasn't got sideways, and he's just driving away from everybody because of it. It just goes to show, smooth inputs are just going to get you faster lap times. It just comes back down to it. You see it all the time. I'm sure Trent sees it all the time at skid control. People putting abrupt inputs into the car thinking they're fast. Doesn't work.
Yeah, getting the managing your wheel speed to maintain your traction is 99% of keeping control of the car. So that's what Hobbo's doing and putting on a clinic for everybody.
Full-time score on the NRL, I meant to mention it half an hour ago. The Roosters have gone down to the Bunnies 60-8. The Roosters have been have absolutely had it handed to them 1 week out from the finals. So no cockadoodle doing tonight for the Roosters fans. There's no doubt about that. The Bunnies, however, they'll be drinking until next Saturday when they play in the elimination finals. Fantastic stuff. So it's Hobson, it's Muscord, it's Cracknell, it's Hammer time, it's Rayhana the top 5.
Rayhana's starting to reel Mickey in here at the moment.
I was going to say, let's get to Michael Hammond and Jackson Rayhana if we can. We are. There's the clock on your screen now, folks. 8 minutes to go here in this 45-minute race. So lap 27. So on our numbers, we're going to probably get to about 33 laps into this race, maybe 34 if we push it. And this is Jackson Rayhana giving Michael Hammond the big hurry up. So Hammond running the iconic Autobahn livery that Craig Lowndes ran in 2000 and was it 16-17 that Lowndes run the Autobahn livery? And of course Rayhana running the Mobil 1 livery with the dash of pink as well. Great stuff.
These two are teammates now, so
they are.
They are in the, I think what they call it, Apex Dodgers is their team name. So everybody's slowly forming factions and teams, and it's actually helping out because obviously Jackson being pretty green to sim racing and Mikey being an old hand, he's getting, well, I mean Jackson doesn't lack any speed, but he's just getting him those little tips and tricks and trinkets to get him that little bit further up the grid. You know, obviously he wasn't in the best frame of mind at the end of the last race, getting a penalty for excessive off tracks or incident points. So looks like Mikey's got him in tow, and they're just going to work their way.
There's no replacement for seat time, that's for sure. And more seat time Jackson gets, the faster he gets. So he'll certainly want to watch out for the rest of the series throughout the year.
Indeed. So Hobson by 17.2. We're right on board with Jackson Rayhana closing up on Michael Hammond. These two will work together now. Will Jackson upset the apple cart and have a crack on the inside of Hammond at any point here? Or will he play the team card and just sit in behind the boss?
I think he'll just sit. Mikey is pretty quick in these things. Obviously not as fast as Hobson, but I know Mikey did do the V8 series for a while there until he just had enough of it. So he doesn't lack in pace. And who are they closing in on now?
They would be closing in on lap traffic,
car?
Nick.
Yeah.
Lap traffic. They're too far away from Michael Cracknell. 8 seconds up the road he is. And in fact, first, second, and third is pretty well locked and sealed if they keep it on the black stuff. They're 3 seconds apart, Muscord and Cracknell in second and third. This is the battle for the last of the minor placings, fourth and fifth, of course. This is Mikey and Jackson. You're looking out the back of Michael's car to Jackson Ray Harner back around onto the main straight. We have just over 5 minutes to go in Mid-Ohio.
It's been cracking races around this track, but also exciting because the people haven't got the track 100% or they haven't got the car 100%. So it's making for fun.
I liken it to a much more open version of the of Summit Point. It's most certainly puts on a lot of action and quite a technical track to get your head around.
I'll tell you what, Summit Point was just like watching Dodgem cars, wasn't it? When we had the GT3 race there, that was fantastic. I think that's been put on the NTA list as far as the GT3 series is concerned. Summit Point.
But I think it was more of an issue having 63 cars on track at once, more than anything.
And we did have it in stock cars in season 1, and it's not good.
Yeah.
Great track,
to drive,
for tiny cars.
Yeah, exactly right.
It must have been very early in week 1 because I don't recall commentating Summit Point. I must have missed that one.
Yeah, it was like I think it was the very first race. Ben Snell won it.
Yeah, and you and I joined you. I think week 3 or 2. So that explains it. And looking forward to doing it all again from early April next year for season 1 of 2021. And in the meantime, we are 4 minutes away from the end of this race. Been great fun. Been dominant from from Brenton Hobson. Been good work from Michael Hammond and Jackson Ray Hunter here. The teammates working together to secure top 5 finishes. Nick, how are we going on incident points? I haven't kept across all of that.
I'm not actually in the server. Trent might be your man.
Okay. I think JP might be able to try it up on the screen for us here. So we'll have a look at incident points for you in just a moment, folks, so that you've got that information of who's doing what. Jackson Ray Harner sitting there in P5. He's following his teammate down the back straight, past the IndyCar start-finish line. Let's have a look here. Clean races for Hobson and Mascord. That's important to note. Oh, Ray Harner firing it down the inside, unable to get it through. 7th place, that's Merritt. He's got a clean race too, surprisingly. And and just one more there, car position 11, which is Matty O'Grady. So clean races for them 4 and no one else in the top 20. Thank you very much, scorekeeper. Well played. So Ray Harner's really pushing Hammond here in the closing stages.
Only a couple of minutes left on the clock too.
Closing stages, probably 2 laps to go after the one we're on now, depending upon when Brenton Hobson gets back to the line. In fact, we'll get 3. So we'll get this one and 2 more because of where Hobson is. And we'll do it by about 9 seconds. So don't go anywhere, folks. This race is not over yet. Hobson will get back to the line with about 1:27 on the clock. He's lapping in the 22s, 23s at the moment. We will then see a 3rd lap, and it'll be similar to the production cars. They got back to the line with about 3 seconds to go. Similar margin here. Extraordinary stuff. Last time around, Hobson at 23.23, so that gets him back to the line with time up his sleeve in the 45-minute race here. Brenton Hobson, watch him through here. 21 seconds to the good. What a dominant performance it's been. A dominant display. And, of course, got the job done in the production cars. Didn't get a chance to race stock cars, but he's going to get 2 out of 3 on a Friday night. And there's one man that's really happy about Hobson missing the stock cars, and he's in the commentary box with us in Trent Lavis, because he was able to get his... That was your first stock car win, wasn't it, Trent?
Certainly was, mate, and it's been a long time coming, but it took the take the aliens out of the mix, and I got the best of the rest award, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm one to always try and go up against the best. Okay, if they're not there, but I'd rather, as sad as it sounds, I'd rather watch them fall in front of me, then I can get the spots rather than not have them there at all.
Totally agree with you there, mate. 100%.
So we'll be taking you through till we'll try and get it wrapped up by 11 o'clock. It's a big day for everyone tomorrow, so stick around, folks. We'll do some quick post-race chats, interviews with these guys in just a few moments. We'll try and wrap things up around 11 o'clock, of course. A later start to our broadcast than usual, but that'll sort itself out in a couple of weeks if you're in Queensland, because when we get left in the 19th century, we'll be on air from 6:30 Queensland time, and the rest of you will be on air from 7:30. So there will be late Friday nights in the Eastern Daylight States, but, you know, it's the problem we're trying to accommodate to 5 different time zones. There's the clock expiring. Brenton Hobson got back to the line with 4 seconds to go. We are on the last lap at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. We have got James Boardman coming to a stop in the grass back behind play as well. So we'll have a look at that later. But for the moment, let's stick with this because this is where it's at. The closing stages. Hobson and Muscord and Cracknell are clear, but Hammond is right there trying to hold off a hard-charging Rayhana.
It's worthwhile noting too, with Hobson just crossing the line with only a couple of seconds to spare, it's going to put a lot of pressure on people running tight fuel strategies in this race. So I foresee a couple of guys dropping off the end of the coattails here. So be interesting to see how this last lap turns out.
So Hammond, I think Rayhana's just going to play it smart here and sit in behind. I don't see him having a crack. He's not close enough to make a move on the man that sets the benchmark in so many of the categories we bring you in the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. But at the moment, it's Brenton Hobson that we need to keep our eyes on because he's on the way home. What a dominant performance this has been at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. Chalk up 1. Brenton Hobson wins race 1 of the Stone Cold Supercar Series on a Friday night for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club on SimShed Broadcasting in 2020 in Season 3. Round 1 goes to him. Very nicely done. But have a look at this. Look at the hard-charging finish from Michael Cracknell trying to get all over the back of Matty Muscord. He's not going to get there. Muscord's going to hold on by half a car length to get second. Super finish in the end between Muscord and Cracknell. Hammond's going to come home in 4th ahead of Rayhana. And then a long gap back, actually not too much in the end, really, if I'm honest, to Todd Parks, who came home in 6th. And then 7th is going to go to John Merritt, Troy Cox, David Kirby, and then Dave Trevathan, making up the top 10 in what was a cracker of a race to start the new season, Nick and Trent.
Yeah, I mean, Brenton Hobson cleared out, but for the rest of the field, it was all pretty tightly knit. So we might have to watch him and learn. He did put on a bit of a clinic there.
Indeed, he did. Trent, your thoughts? I mean, as Nick said, it was processional at the front. If your name was Brenton Hobson, it was pretty easy. But behind him, little mini battle packs popping up all over the place.
Yeah, most certainly. It was a bit of a battle of attrition there through the middle part of that race. After a few little incidents with off tracks, Matty Muscord has managed to come through with a P2 and a podium. A solid effort. And Michael Cracknell as well, putting in some heaters at the end there, really chasing down Matty Muscord and just coming up short, just across the line.
Indeed. There is Brenton Hobson smoking it up and celebrating in victory lane. And probably out of fuel too. Just about. Have a look at the black smoke coming out of that supercar right now. What a superb performance from him to get the job done. We'll get him in here for a chat very shortly. But he'll be particularly delighted with that. Nick, you're about to shoot through. Before you do, I'll look at these race results and then get a driver of the night comment from you.
Yep.
Brenton Hobson from Matty Muscord, Michael Cracknell, Michael Hammond, Ben Jackson, Rayhana, Todd Parks, John Merritt, Troy Cox, David Kirby, Dave Trevathan, Matt O'Grady, Michael Angus, then Tim Harris, then Julia Muckey, Dan Siciliano, Josh Forer, James Boardman, I should say, I get that wrong all the time, sorry James, Simon Francis, Grant Gill, and Matthew Cowley taking us back to position number 20. Down from 21st, Jason Dunn, Kester Ward, fought back to get to 22nd, well done. He's in the chat room, we'll get his thoughts in just a moment. Aidan Rice, Anthony Cuthbertson, then Curtis Williams, Daniel Ackland, Josh Thomas, Warwick Sharp, Michael Schreier, Brett Selby Wood, Chris Stark, and James Wood, with everyone from Ackland down being a retirement here. Whew. Fantastic racing. We'll get back to Trent Lavis very shortly. We'll get Nick's comments before we let him go as well. A driver of the night in the 3 races from you, sir. Hard to look past Hobbo in 1 and 3, and probably Trent in race 2.
Pretty much. I mean, Michael and Hobbo showing us how some clean, good racing in that first race. In the second race, was it Shreya? Shreya and
Shreya Lavis, yeah.
Just absolutely doing exactly the same thing. And then in that one, well, I mean, this guy on screen, he just it is his cup of tea. So he just drove away, and he is recognized as one of the best. So, I mean, with out of the 5 votes I've just cast, he's got 2 of them. So you can't really look past him.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. A brilliant performance in every sense of the word. And just having a look back through, I mean, in this race alone, I won't have much time to go through the other results. If you're just joining us, go back and have a look at them in the replay, folks. But not too many big movers to mention. Todd Parks from 12th to 6th, Troy Cox 11th to 8th, but no real charging through from the back of the field like we used to. It was pretty much maybe 6-7 positions gained at most, not much more than that, Nick. So in terms of qualifying, it proved critical here, and I think it's illustrating that the move from the club to discourage people burning from the stern is starting to pay off as well in terms of what you're seeing in the quality at the front of the field, certainly in the Mazda MX-5s.
Yes, there is something there to discourage you, but however, there could be tracks such as Belle Isle is the one that sticks out to me, and I guess even Bathurst, the top of the mountain. If there's a massive crash, and you're if you're where the crash is or midfield and back, you're going to be in it. So it might pay to actually start from pit lane. You have to wait. I think it's for the last car to pass the exit of pit lane before you get going. But it pays off sometimes. So, man, that Kester Ward car is really nice.
It is indeed. Yeah.
So yeah, it is there to discourage people, but again, if you're like me and you like to do it, I'm probably going to do it anyway. So Wednesday wasn't by design. That was idiot behind the wheel pushing the brake pedal too hard. But once again, I had fun doing that, but I know I would have been closer to Ben Snell at the end of that race. So, yeah, it is there to discourage people. I don't think it'll discourage myself or say someone like Michael Hammond, who likes doing that too. So
maybe even Brenton Hobson.
Yeah, I mean, if we have to join from one server to another, yeah, we're going to have to start at the back if we don't get enough time to do a qualifying lap, such as, Bathurst. It's 2.5 minutes around on a warm-up lap. So if we don't have much time to do it, we could be stuck. So, but now Adam's also implemented bonus points for little bits and pieces. I think the top 10 get a point for qualifying in the top 10. Fastest lap gets a couple points, I believe, and I believe you still get the incident points as well. So 0 incident points. So there's all these little trinkets, all these little bits and pieces, 2 drop rounds. It's all happening. There's so much to keep abreast of. I think we're going to have to provide you with more information next week.
Indeed. The point that I wanted to make as we bring Trent Lavis back in, the fact that it went green all the way, Trent, there was no real disadvantage to any strategy that played out in that race. Some pitted earlier than others, but it was all within the that 5-lap period in the middle of the race there. All in all, Brenton Hobson in a class of his own, but by gee, the battles throughout the rest of the top 10 are going to keep us very interested throughout the rest of the series, I reckon.
Yeah, it just goes to show you can't just rely on the safety car to pull you out of trumps when you're trying to push the strategy to the end. Like anything, raw pace trumps all. So Hobbo obviously putting on a clinic there and walking away from the rest of the field. And
Nick, the other thing too, you said there during the call, we're not going to have a safety car unless the track is absolutely chock-a-blocked, at a circuit like this. There are some tracks that have that element to them where the track can easily get blocked? Mid-Ohio, not one of them.
No, there's plenty of runoff here in most places. It will be the tracks that get tight or have tight areas that could be a high possibility of safety car. But if it's not needed in this particular series, they want to let it run. Stock cars, it's a bit more of a broadcasty entertainment kind of thing. So,
yeah.
And I mean, they do run it like that in essentially right now in NASCAR, where they have it in what do they call it, stages. So
stages, yeah.
I don't want to call it stages because I think that's a bit silly. But if there's a little bit of debris, they will throw a safety car. So
yeah, makes it sound like a rally when you call it stages, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I do like the element of a safety car because sometimes it works against you, sometimes it works for you. So it all evens out, and it's good. Like you don't get penalised too much if you make a mistake. Yeah, you can get back on track. Safety car will bring you back up to the guy that you were chasing down, and then you can have another go at it.
Indeed, you can. Hey, not too many drivers coming to have a chat with us. I dare say they're all simmering down after what's been a busy night. Kester, well, we'll go to you as someone that was in the race. What'd you make of the 45 minutes that was for someone that is following the very bad example set by Trent Lavis of practicing bugger all before you get going?
To be honest with you, that's probably the fairest racing I've had in anything of iRacing. Everyone was really courteous, and I mean, I'm not the quickest guy out there, but I've tried to be as smooth as possible, so I managed to get a few. But it was great racing everywhere.
Indeed, it was, and that's the thing, Nick. We've mentioned this a few times already tonight. The mantra of the club: gentlemen sim racing. Yes, there's going to be contact. Yes, there's going to be a little bit of rubbing, niggle, and wriggle here and there. But basically, everyone's out there to have fun. And I think the other more important point, it wasn't illustrated so well in the Porsches the other night, and there was a reason for that, and I'll come back to that in a moment. But tonight, it just seemed as though everyone was well aware that this is a 10-round championship and it wasn't going to be won in the first corner, let alone the first race.
Well, you just saw an example there. Kester knew the guy behind him is pushing a little bit harder. Well, let him have it. He might fall off the road again. And that's something I'm always finding is like you battle hard to stay in front of this one guy. He's actually using you as his marker for brake markers, accelerating markers, turning markers. You finally let him by. He's got nothing to judge on, and he falls off the road anyway, and then you got another 15 seconds on him. So, I always refer back to Kenny Rogers, the gambler. You got to know when to do the right thing and know when to hold on to and when to let it go. So, smart driving is the name of the game in my books.
Indeed, it is. Actually, we've got a couple of drivers jumping into the green room now, so let's just bring those guys in. And take a hat off and say congratulations firstly to Brenton Hobson, mate. Dominant drive in the supercars. Production cars, a cracker of a battle and scrap with Michael Hammond. But unfortunately, not on the grid for the stock cars. The reasons for that have already been well documented. However, 2 from 2 on night 1 of the new season. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, wrapped with that. 2 poles, 2 fastest laps, and 2 wins. I can't do much better without any offense in either race. I can't really do anything better than that.
I was going to say a clean sheet in both, so bonus points all around. Well done.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Obviously, I'm disappointed I didn't get into the stock cars. You've obviously talked about it.
Apologies, sorry.
What happened with that? I assumed we could do all 3. I don't know if we're meant to be able to.
Yeah, it was just a time.
I mucked up the timing.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I was looking forward to having a go at all 3. I think if I had have done all 3, I probably would have struggled more with the supercar, but given that I didn't race the stock cars, I actually got some practice in it instead. So, I mean, it worked out for me in the end, but maybe next time we'll be able to get all 3 in and try and sweep a whole night. That'd be something.
Well, this is exactly right. But I'd hazard a guess that you were a little bit grateful for the ability to rest the limbs and get ready for the supercar race by not running the stock cars there, mate. I mean, it's a fair workout, the 2 races, let alone 3 on a Friday night.
It's a big undertaking. I was kind of not sure how I'd go, but then because I'm streaming, I can't just sit here and do nothing. So between the races, I went and cut laps anyway. So I didn't really get a break, but I wasn't racing. It is a bit more intensive mentally probably more than anything when you're on the track in a race, especially in this series where you're trying not to get off tracks. Like, you can kind of relax and get a bit sloppy and still go fast sometimes when you're not worrying about that. But when you got to worry about not getting off tracks, you just got to concentrate so hard all the time. You can't sort of get away with a few little mistakes. So it's mentally draining when you drive like that. Even that race, running around at the front, you still got to concentrate every single corner. You can't get away with the lapse in concentration.
No, you certainly cannot. Nick, something worth mentioning here, Jackson Rayhana is going to join us in the chat room as well, so we'll make this quick and nice and smooth for you, ladies and gentlemen, because we do want to wrap up. Everyone's a little bit busy tomorrow. Nick, we were talking about how everyone was a little bit, before Brenton joined us in the chat room, everyone was a little bit more relaxed and steady, not thumping and bashing and crashing into each other in the opening laps here. The exception to the rule was the Porsche GT3 race on Wednesday night, and I said in the call I put that down to nothing more than the excitement level behind that series finally getting underway. Yes, it was never going to be one in the first corner, but I think these guys that were racing on Wednesday night all wanted to send a message from the first corner that they're here to win.
But there can only be one. So, yeah. It looked like a bit of a I guess, what's the best way to describe it? Organized chaos.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
Everything else has been really good. So I guess it is a tough car to drive, that Porsche being rear engined, but people will find their feet eventually. As we know, fields do thin out as the season wears on, unfortunately. But I think we're all having fun. No one's really done anything really wrong by anybody, and if they have, I'm sure they've redressed it as best as they can. So
yeah,
let's bring on round two. I mean, I know I've got some improvements to make, a la timing of my servers, but we've all got improvements to make, unless your name's Brenton Hobson or Mikey Hammond. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Brenton, just talk to us about that battle with Mikey Hammond in the first race, if you don't mind. I'll get to David and Jackson in just a moment, and thanks for sticking around, boys. I know it's late. But firstly, that epic scrap between you two, we're admiring your work here in the supercars on screen at the moment. Let's not get confused for the viewers at home. But for the viewers that might not have seen the Mazda race earlier, you and Michael Hammond side by side, a little bit of hit and bump and rub here and there, but some of the cleanest and most exciting racing we'll see all series.
Yeah, well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The production cars are the best probably for the good racing like that. They're a little bit slower, so you drive them at 100%. You get a couple of people driving them at 100%, and they're very even. And that was a really good race. I really enjoyed it. Mike was upset. I think it was the last lap. He sailed
Threw
off.
it away in turn 4.
Yeah. He thought that I'd moved under brakes, I think. I didn't. Oh, I don't think I did. I guess the admins will look at that. But he was a bit upset with me. But other than that, the race was really good. It was door handle to door handle. And like you say, you get a couple of people that can run near each other with a good bit of respect for each other, and you get a really good race out of it. And almost every week in the production cars, we see a fair bit of that. So I didn't want to miss those cars because they are fun to drive and you get good racing in them.
Absolutely, you do. Stick around there, mate. I'm coming back to you in a couple of minutes. We've got to make this quick with David Kirby and also Jackson Rayhana. First to you, David. In the thick of it with David Trevathan all the way to the checkered flag, but you held on for ninth, mate. Nicely played. What did you make of the 45-minute race there?
Yeah, thanks, guys. That was tough. That was really hard. It was high-level concentration. Started P13 and lit the rears up on the start. I think I dropped back to about 19th by about turn 2. So it was a hard-fought race on the way back, but it was good. I had used the strategy I used earlier on in the week, went long, pitted late, but rubbed door handles with John Merritt actually on the way out. He was actually behind Dave, and next minute I've turned into turn 2, and there he was. And, I got the late spotter call, but sorry, John, but no incident, so that was good.
Indeed. Thoughts on the upcoming races? Next week we go to a track that is synonymous with American motorsport. It's Road America. It's 6.5 kilometres of pure speed and adrenaline, and it's a circuit that will throw up some great racing. What are your initial thoughts?
Road America I quite enjoy. Done a few races there recently in the last few weeks, so as early as last week as well. So It's a great track, plenty of passing opportunities. It's fast, but it also will punish you if you make a mistake. So bring it on, and hopefully I can put the Frigichill Racing ZB up the front of the field once again.
Indeed. Just looking at, obviously, it's qualified 13th, qualified 13th, finished 9th. That's obviously a foundation on which you'll intend to build upon. What's a ballpark figure in terms of outright finish in this championship?
Last season I finished P4,
Yep.
so I would like to obviously better that and improve on that. I know this season we've grown in numbers, which is absolutely fantastic. Welcome all the newcomers to the V8s this time around. So it's great to have you all here, and obviously Hobbo and Hamo and all the quick guys are back, so that's good. And if I can get up in the top 5 with the class of characters around me this season, I'll be over the moon, and I'll take that to the bank.
I was going to say, obviously, the fact that it's on a Friday night, that sits well with quite a few people because of and it's later. From a broadcast standpoint, everyone's happy about the fact that the V8s are now getting broadcast. But obviously, you're never going to please everyone with the schedule. So there are some people that have been put out by where some of these races have been scheduled, with obviously David's rap that it's later on a Friday night. So we look forward to your involvement throughout the next 9 weeks, mate. Well done tonight. Thank you for stopping by to have a chat to us. I'll move to Jackson Rayhana now. And then we'll start to wrap this baby up, because we're all, and I'll get back to Brenton Hobson before we do, but as I say, it is pushing on 11 o'clock Eastern time, so everyone's feeling a little bit under the pump with work and radio commitments tomorrow. Jackson, how difficult is it to, because Nick and Trent were talking about it at the start of the broadcast when we were covering qualifying for the supercars, how difficult is it going from the stock car to the supercar, because they are two completely and difficult beasts to drive?
Good evening, boys. Good evening, everyone. Oh man, it's, to be honest, it's not really. It is difficult, but it's kind of like jumping out of a Formula 4 and into a Formula 3 car, kind of thing. It's like the thing, like the stock car doesn't really want to stop, doesn't really want to turn, doesn't, it's a similar power, probably a bit more. So the V8 just feels, a lot more put together. It feels a lot like a better race car kind of thing. So, I mean, apart from me having to calm down a little bit after the stock car race, felt pretty good.
I was going to say, we heard you're a little bit hot under the collar. I take it then by what you're saying that if you had to go the other way and go from supercar to stock car, that'd be a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, of course it would be challenging. But in the way that you drive them is similar, except just the V8's just a little bit easier, I think. Just pointier. It's a lot more responsive. The tire, kind of the tire drop off is similar, not as aggressive as, or not nearly as aggressive as the stock car, but in the way that the you've got about 1 or 2 good laps on the tires before they start to fall away a little bit. Everything's kind of, it's a good change. It's not like jumping from, say, an MX-5 to a NASCAR or stock car, which it's a shame Hobbo couldn't do that tonight, because that would have been very impressive. But yeah, no, it was good fun. It was good fun. Good night.
Indeed. Your initial thoughts on the next week, because all 3 Friday night races head to Road America, and obviously you've got Okayama on Wednesday night, so you got the best of both worlds in a week where we go Europe, Asia, and North America yet again. 2
tracks I really, really, really enjoy. Road America is a fantastic track, and picked up a win there. That was my debut in the development series, or the Stone Cold development series last season. And I picked up the pole and win there. So obviously a much tougher field now that I'm in the main game. But hopefully I can carry some of that form to Road America.
Indeed, let's hope so. I mean, let's talk about the results. Obviously, I'll leave stock cars to one side because I don't want to fire you up. But let's talk about supercars. For Stone Cold Racing, of course, huge thanks to those guys for coming on board as per usual. Hopefully I mentioned you enough throughout the broadcast, but obviously the banner's sitting there in the top left of the screen, so support those people. They support us, ladies and gentlemen, and also the replays that we bring you throughout the course of the season as well. You followed the boss home. Was it a case of team orders, or were you just not able to find a way by?
Oh man, well, first of all, he had his little spin on the entrance to pit lane,
Yes.
and I picked up, the track position very briefly through the pit stop, and he had to short fuel to get out back in front of me, because I knew he really wanted to get back out in front of me, because I guess Mikey naturally thought he had more pace, and
He's just a competitor. Yep.
yeah, of course, and he has every right to do so. But yeah, like we honestly. The only way I was going to get around him is by either pressuring into a stake or having a big dive in the sand. And obviously, we've got the teammate relationship, so I don't want to put both our cars and races at risk when we're in a strong position. But with that said, I sat as close to breathe down his neck as much as I could, hoping he'd make a mistake or pushing him to run out of fuel, which I believe he was very, very close when he crossed the finish line. So put it this way, it was touch and go, but either way, happy with the top 5 result in first race in this series. So yeah.
And also what you said there is exactly what we've been talking about throughout the course of the evening, mate. Too early in the series to be making risky moves and throwing potential good championship points away.
Absolutely. 5th is a strong result, and the car that I'm, as I've mentioned before, not that comfortable with. Like, my thing's open wheelers, and tin tops it's always going to be a challenge because they drive so differently to something like a Formula 3 car, which I'm comfortable with. So yeah, it's definitely new, and it's interesting, and it's a great challenge. That's why I do it every week.
Indeed. Joel Clark, just for the first time tonight, would you believe it, I didn't open the Facebook Live feed, so I've just opened it to see some good comments. Your old man's in there commenting on how nice a broadcast it's been, so thank you very much for that. And also to Joel Clark, sorry that you didn't get in the server again. Work running late for him ruled him out of the night. And that's the thing, like, Nick, now that everyone's getting back to normal, you're not going to please everybody. Unfortunately, work's going to run over time occasionally. People are going to miss out, which is why it's a good thing we've got this 2 drop round system in play.
Yeah, life can get the better of us. So having that two round drop system, you can almost actually plan for it if you want, need to get away, or if work goes overtime, whatever, you can plan it ahead and account for it.
All right. I think we'll leave it there, boys, because it's just gone past 11 o'clock. Everyone's got a busy day tomorrow, particularly Nick and myself. Just quickly before I do, Brenton Hobson, your initial thoughts, obviously Monday night, GT Racing Brands Hatch. That should be a barrel load of fun. And obviously now we turn our attention on, as far as Friday night's concerned. Hopefully you will be in the triple header next week. Road America, your thoughts on all of that?
Well, Road America to start with, that should be all right. It's not too difficult of a track to try and get your head around, so hopefully we can adjust quickly from the cars. We're going to only get a few minutes to get up to speed, so yeah, I think that'll be good. Brands Hatch will be interesting in GT cars. That's a pretty hectic sort of a track, and passing could be interesting there. I'll try and remember to put fuel in it this week. That's what got me on Monday last week. I started on my quali set and couldn't make it on fuel, so I was disappointed with that. We should have been in the hunt at the front there, so
absolutely.
Hopefully this week I don't do something silly like that, and can bag some good points and at least have a good race.
Indeed, mate. And we didn't see you on Wednesday night, for memory, in the Porsches, so there was obviously a reason for that.
Yeah, I've got other commitments every second Wednesday, so you should see me in there next week with any luck.
All right.
Oh, yep, cool. Another track that I at least know fairly well, so fingers crossed we go right in that. They're a different car to drive. They're quite hard to just jump into and be fast. So we did the practice race before the season started at Phillip Island, and I won that. So depends if Posy turns up, because he's sort of like my perennial nightmare whenever I race on the track with him. He's just so fast. So we'll see what happens. And hopefully we can get a start in that as well.
Looking forward to it immensely, boys. Well done tonight. Congratulations. Final comments from you, Nick. Have I left anything out?
Thank you to JP Simshed.
Absolutely. I was doing that. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Trent Lavis, well done. Thanks for joining us in comms for the final race tonight. Well done on your win in the stock cars. Very nicely done. And obviously, all roads now lead to Brands Hatch, a circuit that you have had success at in the past. And Road America will be interesting for you next Friday night as well. Big double header coming up.
Yeah, mate, looking forward to it. Thanks again.
Yeah, great to have you on board as well. Kester, Jackson, David, Brenton, thank you very much for stopping by for comments post-race there as well. Those of you that are waiting for championship points, keep waiting. We'll update you on them on Monday night because Adam Lavis has a 4 a.m. start in the morning. He couldn't just quite stay up till 11 o'clock with us. Otherwise, he'd be a walking, sleeping person at work tomorrow. But we appreciate all the great work he does. We appreciate all the great work of the great people that support the club. Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hook Gander, Racecraft, Flash Graphics, Ocular, SimShed Broadcasting, Simple Sim Computers, and Stone Cold Racing. Brilliant to have them all on board. Some new sponsors to make the new season happen. We are 7 races down with 63 to go as far as the next 9 weeks are concerned. They're going to get busier and busier and busier. Let's look ahead for you as far as SimShed Broadcasting and also Maverick Twitch is concerned because there's plenty to look forward to. Monday night, Brands Hatch, the venue for round 2 of Intro to Wings and also the GT3 series. Sorry, Nick, I almost left out Intro to Wings there. And then, of course, that's 7:30 Eastern time. Same time Wednesday night when we bring you all the action from Hump Day, Pilot Day series, Wednesday night motorsport. That'll be GT4 and TCR first up into Porsche GT3. You'll see that on the club, Gentleman Sim Racing Club Incorporated broadcast page on Facebook, as well as Adam Lavis's Maverick Twitch account. So looking forward to that. Friday night back on SimShed Broadcasting, I should say. I'm getting Simple Sim and SimShed confused. It's going to be a long season. We're back on SimShed on Mondays and Fridays, though. Friday night, 7:30 for the last week, as far as you Queenslanders are concerned, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Friday, October 2. Looking forward to this immensely. It will be Road America for the production cars. Not sure what the production car will be yet. Looking forward to finding out. Then it'll be stock cars, which we'll hopefully get all of next week. Nick will make sure of that. And then, of course, we'll get stuck into supercars on the back end of all of that. 1 round down, plenty to come. Congratulations to all of our winners in a massive week of racing. Of course, Glenn Postlethwaite's had a... sorry, no, not Glenn Postlethwaite. It was Jeff Connell on Wednesday night. It was, of course, Trent Lavis getting a job done tonight. Brenton Hobson as well. Michael Hammond and Benny Snell had a win on Wednesday night. Hammond did it on Monday night. Who won the GT3 race on Monday night? It's slipping my memory.
Gaderick.
Dennis Gaderick. Dinos, yes, thank you very much. That's right, because I'm so used to him being in the Ferrari, and now he's in the Audi. Very nice. Thank you for that, Brenton Hobson. So, Gaderick, Hammond, Snell, Connell, Lavis, Hobson, all the guys that usually dominate at the pointy end right at the start of the season. It's exactly what you want. Hope you've enjoyed all the action for SimShed Broadcasting, for all the great people that support the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Paul Nichols will be back with us on Monday night as well. We hope you will be too. Have a great weekend, everybody. If you're sitting around, got nothing to do tomorrow morning, flick it on to West Bromwich Radio. I'll be there with you from 9 till 12, talking all things sport. And, of course, we're back on Monday night for more great sim racing. On behalf of the crew here, thanks so much for your company. For Nick and for JP, Trent Lavis, and the crew, I'm Zach Caben. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you Monday night. Until then, goodbye for now.